Saturday at 11 a.m.
This Marquette Minute has been brought to you by Steinhoffels and their Marquette Spirit Sales event this Saturday. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle Brust and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
There's a man upstairs, he kept bringing me rain. But I've been sending up prayers and something's changed. I think I find
the 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. And it begins with the question I just asked Tausch, if you were listening at the end of the 9 o'clock hour. Do we have to alter our position? Because we've been in alignment on this. And Craig has too. Craig talks about this every time the Love thing comes up. He talks about the timing of it and drafting him then when you had a team that had just gone to the NFC Championship game. But do we have to amend our position given how? I mean, you're driving the bus. You're pulling the whoo on the Love train at this point, and I'm right there with you. I did read an interesting piece from Rob Domofsky, who's going to join us tomorrow, in which the projections for the next contract and the annual average are very interesting. We'll get into that a little bit later. But Tausch, do we have to, because he's turned out to be what we appear to think he is, do we have to say, well, I guess the timing be damned. You got the guy, you got him, and so it doesn't really matter. Or does it still?
No, it still matters.
Okay, good.
Listen, it's great that the Green Bay Packers have found their next quarterback. It's beautiful for us. It's beautiful for fans. It's beautiful for everybody that loves the G&G, because what I think we were all worried about when you made the move to get rid of Aaron was middling, non-relevant franchises don't have quarterbacks.
Right.
The Packers will always be interesting because they're the Packers. But I can assure you, if we were 6-11 and then next year 5-12 and Jordan is just super average to below average, nobody's going to care. And it's a really fair question that I think you can say and spin it however you want. Had Aaron Rodgers been traded after 2 years, I would have said, yeah, you made the right move. It was timing was fine. That's not the road you went down. You had just given him a 4-year extension with a bunch of guaranteed money. And those early first-round picks, who knows if you use that on a different player, how that affects your next 2- and 3-year run with Aaron. We don't know that part of it. What we do know is Jordan Love would not have been the quarterback he is now if he started playing in year 1 or year 2.
Agreed.
He would have struggled immensely. So the timing of it, while I don't have a problem drafting a quarterback, I have a problem with extending and giving a fat contract, because I got into a big argument with Rutledge yesterday as he was saying this season, if they lose to the Bears, is an utter failure. And I told him that's the worst take I've ever heard in sports radio, because you have to play with a quarterback on a rookie deal. And I tried to explain to him, Jordan Love's not even on a rookie deal anymore. That all went to the wayside. Having a quarterback that's really good on a rookie deal is great. But you know what's more important? Having a great quarterback. Having somebody that you know you can build around for the next 5 to 10 years. Green Bay has that now. We feel pretty good that you're going to sign him. He's going to be our quarterback. But you didn't utilize 3 years of his deal on his rookie deal because Aaron Rodgers was just signed to a big fat extension. I never had a problem with Jordan Love being picked. I had a problem with the timing of where Aaron was. Aaron had not mentioned he was retiring, and while it did motivate him and get him to get to the point where he was a 2-time MVP, that's all of the people that will say, Tausch, you're being an idiot. In this case, I disagree. I'm not an idiot. I think that the timing sucked, and it was not the right move. But the results, when you look back, you can say in 2020, 21, 22, it was the wrong move. and then say now it's the right move, and I'd have a hard time arguing with you.
So if they don't sign him to the extension, are you okay with the pick? If they don't sign Rodgers to the extension, let's say they choose to play hardball with Aaron Rodgers, which I doubt would have gone well, right?
It would not have.
I feel pretty confident in that as well. But let's say they say, look, man, we're not sure what you've got, how much you got left. We're going to pick the next guy. Let's say even Goody was more communicative. Boy, they got a lot of communication problems over the years over there. And warns Rodgers ahead of time that he's picking Love. Doesn't give him the big fat extension, the first one, because remember, he also gave him one again later after he'd picked Love, because he had back-to-back MVP seasons. But he doesn't give the first extension, picks Love, and tries to get 2 more years out of Rodgers under the previous existing contract. Is it okay to have picked him then, for those of us that question the timing?
No, I would not have had a problem had you not re-signed Aaron, and then you let everyone know kind of where the deal was at. Now, how would have Aaron handled that? Aaron didn't handle this very well. He wasn't going to handle that well either. So it's a moot point, because I do think there is a monster value in having a quarterback that's tailor-made and ready to play as a rookie or in the second year, because you're seeing it with San Fran, with Brock Purdy, that you can then load up some other spots and help them with the development. I don't think Jordan Love was there, though. I don't think if you have Devontae and Aaron Jones and everybody else, does Jordan Love play in year 2 like he is right now?
No, he doesn't play this way, no. I think Jordan would even admit that.
I certainly don't think so. So the bottom line is it is complicated. But you don't give a big fat extension to the current quarterback that kicks in the same year that you draft your young and up-and-comer. That was always the issue I had.
Yes.
That's the issue I still have. And I don't have any other problem. The way it is played out, again, not being a Goody stan, but I am.
Oh, that you are.
It actually is played out almost perfectly. Because you got 3 cracks at a championship with Aaron Rodgers being pissed off and trying to vindicate this bad pick, MVP in it, and you let Jordan Love develop immensely behind it.
Yeah,
now he's playing on a very small contract, and if you want to play hardball with Jordan, you have 2 years, in essence, of playing with him. But even if you pay him top dollar, $50 million a year, whatever Rob's article, and I said it'll be close to 50. You're paying all of your wideouts and tight ends a total of $12 million for the next 2 years.
Yeah,
on average, the entire group. So
it's a pretty good bargain.
I don't sense that you could. I don't know how you can say I didn't like the pick because of the timing. But if you're Brian Gutekunst, just say, what the hell are you talking about? I ended up getting a quarterback.
That's what I'm saying.
I ended up getting a quarterback that was mad, that got his coach fired, that wasn't playing great. We motivated the heck out of him by drafting Jordan.
Yeah.
He played at his peak level for 2 years.
Yeah.
Then you don't give him another new contract the next year. For everybody that's saying they knew that he was the guy and that the Packers
the organization.
Yeah, that they knew that Jordan Love was going to be this good. Why on earth did you give him that big fat extension the year before you got rid of him then?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Let's slow our roll on all this geniosity by all these people. The bottom line is the Packers' way is to bring a guy in early. You let him develop and you let him grow so his confidence is ready when his time comes. That the Green Bay Packers nailed.
All right, we need to play trivia. The category... And Jesse did the.
So how do you answer that? How do you answer that question, Jason? Because as I'm talking,
I wanted confirmation. It is complicated. It is, and the factor that Rodgers was motivated because he was pissed. He was pissed that it got those 2 unbelievable years out of him in 20 and 21. Is a huge benefit. If I know they didn't win the Super Bowl. I still think, regardless of the Love pick, if David Bakhtiari doesn't tear his ACL, they play in the Super Bowl in 2020. They win at home with COVID and whatever else. But I still think that I can stand on my opinion because he did need the time to get to where he is. Jordan Love did. Because, I watched Jordan Love, and I don't know if you've heard, but I like him. What I didn't like was the way he played for a long time. He needed, I don't know how much, if we look back on Aaron Rodgers, could he have had the same career playing a year or two earlier than he ended up playing?
Yes.
Right? If he becomes the starting quarterback in 2007, for example, I don't know if you go to the NFC Championship game because Favre was awesome that year. But my point is that I think Jordan needed every bit of how long he waited to be the guy he is now. I don't think he's this guy. If they trade Rodgers last year and he's the quarterback in 22, I don't think he's as good as he's been this year. I just don't believe that.
Hey, yeah, let's find out. This is a good pollable question because I think most Packer fans are going to disagree with us on this.
Probably. Yeah, probably. Or maybe we're just stubborn. All right, I still haven't put the other poll in the field, so I will get on that.
Scrap the other poll. That's old news. People can't change. Just look at everybody's resolutions come February.
All right, so we need to play trivia. The category is things named after former presidents, and I have to admit, I thought at first that maybe Hunter had taken over trivia because everyone remembers Gerald Ford trivia. Richard Nixon trivia was coming around the corner. But this was Jesse. Now, maybe he knew Hunter was filling in for him and wanted to make sure Hunter felt welcome.
But he is in charge of putting in people who's working. So I think he probably...
Is he? Or does he just have to
I think he is. Hunter, is he or is Strofe? Did Strofe put you in today, or how did that work?
Jesse texted me last night asking me to be on standby. And I was like, yeah, I'm working. I told my wife, I was like, I'm going to have to go in early. So I just knew.
So is it like if you have, if you're a server at Applebee's and you need to find somebody to cover your shift, or does he just tell you, Hunter, you're covering my shift?
It's more of an ask, but it's an ask understanding that, hey, you got to do this.
You don't get to say no.
Yeah.
So then it's not really an ask now, is it?
No, but he still puts the question mark at the end to at least
So it's
have
really
the
a matter of
illusion.
punctuation.
Yes.
Okay. Well, things named after former presidents? Question mark? Is the category. Caller 10 is the caller. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. Caller 10 to play trivia. We'll do it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. Even when you think you know what's going on,
the Chefs are 7, and they cannot win a Super Bowl.
You can never be too sure.
Until Taylor Swift, on her birthday, says no to Kelsey with an engagement ring.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Does he have to ask her before getting the ring? Or no? Can he just give her the ring?
Mornings 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, and available wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand.
Woo! Hey, this is Ben Brust from Kyle Brust and Nortman on ESPN Wisconsin. People can't stop screaming about the Screamin' Sicilian frozen pizza, and no wonder. There's plenty to scream about, like the buttery stone-fired crust, secret recipe tomato sauce, mounds of whole milk mozzarella, and tons of premium toppings. Find Screamin' Sicilian in your local grocer's freezer and find out for yourself why Sport called Screamin' Sicilian's Holy Pepperoni frozen pizza the best of the best. Screamin' Sicilian, taste what all the screamin' is about.
Your nose is for breathing. Your mouth is for eating. And if you're breathing through your mouth, it's not because your body wants to. It's because it has to, because your nose isn't working properly. And although you've lived like this, it's no way to live, and it's having a significant impact on your life. I know you know this, and I know that taking action isn't always convenient. But at Advent, we've done all we can to make changing your life for the better as easy as possible. I'm Dr. Madan Kandula. With tens of thousands of our patients, a thorough breathing triangle evaluation, along with a simple 20-minute in-office procedure called balloon sinuplasty, has opened their nasal passages, allowing them to breathe freely through their nose for good. And there's a good chance this procedure can do the same for you. We'll help you breathe through your nose again, and it will change your life.
Go to AdventKnows.com to schedule your appointment, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the Deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
At We Energies, we're committed to building a bright, sustainable energy future. We're investing in clean energy projects like solar, wind, and battery storage. As a leader in the decarbonization effort, our goal is to achieve net zero carbon emissions from our generation fleet by 2050. It's part of our plan to provide the affordable, reliable, and clean energy you depend on. Learn more at WeEnergies.com. We Energies. People you can trust, energy you can depend on. This message was paid for by the stockholders of WEC Energy Group.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Skilled trade workers are the backbone of every community, and also the Army National Guard. Soldiers trained to keep the power flowing, engines running, and in every other trade needed to accomplish the mission. These soldiers are on the fast track to learning skills that can set them up for success at home with companies looking to hire the best. Their resumes are being built through their paid training and part-time service. Find out how you too can learn a trade profession by visiting NationalGuard.com. Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
When I was a young boy living in the city, all I did was run. Staring at the lights, they look so pretty. Mama said, son, you're gonna grow up, you're gonna get old.
Time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestants. It is Mailman Matt, who normally likes to play on Wisconsin Geography Wednesdays. He's pretty dominant when he plays. Matt, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Glad to talk to you guys again.
We're always happy to have you, buddy. So are you on your route yet?
Oh, yeah. I'm parked on the side of the road. Got to be safe, you know.
Yeah, that's very important. I appreciate your commitment to safety and on-time delivery. All right. The category is...
Hey, Matt, Mailman Matt,
sure,
would you, if you had to do it over, would you design the mail truck any differently than how it's designed?
Depends upon which mail truck you're talking about. I actually use a personal vehicle, but the trucks, the old one that's kind of the square boxy one that doesn't have any airbags in, and the heat is terrible in it for wintertime, and it has no air conditioning in the summertime. The newer ones have both, but the way it's designed on the inside is not as good for delivery. So I like using my own vehicle, actually.
Okay. Bench seat? Do you do bench seat, or do you do bucket seats up front?
I drive a second-generation Prius, so it's an early 2000 Prius that has the back seats removed so that I have more space for the packages and mail.
Yeah.
And is it painted in the colors of the U.S. Postal Service?
No, it has like a placard on the side, like a magnetic placard, And then you have I have an orange flag to identify myself, and I also have a like a safety light on top as well.
Wow.
Like an orange light. One of those orange lights.
Yes. Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Safety light.
Okay.
Wow.
I would think bench seats would be better for delivering, right?
Well, not
you
in
got
a
the
Prius.
big bench where you, well, no, but I'm saying
Yes,
if you were picking and designing a mail car, you'd want a bench in the front. No?
You definitely do. Yeah, yes, that's what you want. And my son actually took out the middle console of the Prius and made it a bench seat for me. Shout out to my son,
Thank you.
Joshua.
God.
Joshua, great job looking out for Pops, man.
Yeah,
That's
and
good
it
stuff.
must be
Is he
so
a
hard to be
mailman
you.
also?
No, my other son was a mailman for a while, but they both became police officers.
Wow, public
Thank
service
you. Good.
runs
We
very
need that.
deeply in your family.
Outstanding. Yes.
All right.
All right.
Well, Tausch is done congratulating himself on the brilliance of the bench seat. I'm glad you were able to.
I just assumed.
That was great. I mean, the fact that his son took out the console and made it you were right. Once again, all hail King Tausch.
No,
Now,
I'm not always
I have
right.
another
There's
I
no
have
king.
another question since we're learning more about the Postal Service today before we play trivia.
Okay.
So our letter carrier, her name is Claire. She's very nice. She always takes our packages. Paula sells some stuff on the Poshmark. She always feeds our dogs treats when they're outside. What am I? I already gave her Christmas gift, but I saw something on the internet, which you can't always believe, that there are limits to what you guys are allowed to receive as gifts from people on your route. Do you know what those limits are?
No, I don't. I guess I never have worried about that. Most people, they give, like a 20 or something like that, or they might give you a gift card, or they might give you like a box of cookies or something like that around Christmas time. So I've never had anybody give me like $500 that I had to worry about whether that was over the limit or not.
And I didn't give her $500 either, so don't worry. But if you ever get our route, you'll get a couple.
What are the limits? So Matt knows. What are the limits?
$20, and I may or may not have violated.
I don't actually know what the limits are. I don't.
I'm telling you, it's $20.
Is it really? Okay.
It is. I don't know.
Why
and
is
I
that
said,
the case?
And I said, screw you, U.S. Postal Service. So we spent a little bit more on her because she is so good to us, and we appreciate it. All right, time now for trivia. Things named after presidents is the category.
Okay.
President Mark Tauscher takes a poke at question number one.
Good one. It'll be a very piercing question, Matt. NASA's Field Center and main launch site in Florida is named after which former U.S. president? Is it
John F.
JFK?
Kennedy.
There you go. Bam.
I think Jesse, listening at home, all sick and bundled up in his bed, would like us to read your other choices, which were John F. Kennedy, Abraham Lincoln, or Rutherford Blastoff Hayes. Not as funny as he thought it was. Question 2, Matt, is this. Which of these cities is a state capital named after a former U.S. president? Is it Jackson, Mississippi, Jacksonville, Florida, or Jackson, Wyoming?
Jackson, Mississippi.
Now, I wonder, are the other two also named after President Jackson, but they're not capitals? Was Jesse being clever there? We'll never know because he's not on the show. Tausch, you got question 3. Hunter Vaughn's very excited about it.
Yes, I am.
Gerald Ford Stadium in Texas is the home football stadium for which of these college football programs? Is it TCU, SMU, or UTEP, otherwise known as UTEP?
This is going to be a wild guess. I'm going to go with SMU.
I thought he was a Michigan guy.
He was.
Hey, if only we had the foremost authority on Gerald Ford available to us, why would SMU Stadium be named after Gerald Ford? Does anyone here know?
I actually don't know.
You're Mr. Gerald Ford.
I know, and I've never understood that, and I've never thought to look it up until now. So I'll effort the answer for that.
Your big moment, Hunter, with your favorite president. Matt, you got all three right. Plus, we learned a little bit about bench seats and how you deliver your mail. You got 4 entries into tomorrow's drawing. We appreciate you playing, buddy, and your loyalty to the show while you're on your route. Have a great day.
Love you guys. Take care.
I just would like to state for the record.
The other thing I was going to ask Matt, but I know we're way behind on the clock. It feels like mail people really like using those chains to connect their wallets to stuff.
What?
You ever notice that? There's a lot of chains that mail people have. Like, I don't know if it's to make sure because they're getting in and out of the car so much. It's, the old wallet chain to the belt deal. I feel like that's an inordinate amount mail people utilize that. Don't know why. Next time Matt calls, we'll ask him.
Okay. I guess that is not an observation I've made.
Guys, we have a little bit of controversy.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
So,
no.
This is according to Wikipedia. But
no.
Gerald Ford Stadium is actually named after the billionaire Gerald Ford, who is from Dallas. Or
Jesse's
Pampa, Texas, excuse me. But not actually named after the president. So he did still get it right because that is the name of the stadium, but it's not Gerald Ford, the president. Whoops.
That's outstanding. Jesse, we miss you, buddy. Get well soon. We look forward to your return, but keep sending us inaccurate trivia questions while you're at it. Hey, the stadium is at SMU. It's named Gerald Ford Stadium. So I think we're on solid legal ground in terms of the actual question. And look, this is not David Gruber's area of expertise, so I don't need to call David on this. But if I were ever injured in a serious accident, that's who I would call. One call, that's all. David Gruber and his team at Gruber Law Offices. Go to gruber-law.com to find out more about the firm. You can find out also about what they do in the community and all the different lawyers that work there. But more importantly, if you ever need that kind of legal advice, they are there for you with that one call. One call, that's all. 414-276-6666. 414-276-6666. We're going to get to Power Rankings Tuesday on Thursday at some point. I also want to talk a little more about how this is the same exact scenario this team faced a year ago. And there are a lot of guys, even though they're a young team, who were part of that loss last year. How would Tausch be handling it this week? And would they be mentioning that game at all? Rob Domofsky asked Jordan Love about that. We'll hear from him next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcast for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Texting enrolls you into reoccurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone.
Lower T?
Yeah, I went through it a while back. Once you hit 40, your body has less free testosterone. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The patented key ingredient is something called Testofen, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text.
Text FLASH to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T, the #1 selling testosterone booster at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast. Absolutely free. Text SLASH to 321-321. That's slash to 321-321.
The Saganiac Planning Fantastic Finish, January 20th, 2006. A Big East battle at home against Notre Dame. It's 65 all, and Marquette inbounded the ball from midcourt with 12 seconds left. Down to 5 seconds, Joe Chapman on the right wing passed to Steve Novak, who ran in front of Chapman to get the pass. Novak dribbled into the right corner, and with 2 seconds left, faded to the right, put up a jumper just inside the three-point line. It was money. Oh, baby. Final. Marquette 67, Notre Dame 65. Who makes dental and vision insurance simple? That's easy. Delta Dental of Wisconsin. If you ask yourself who encourages you to use your dental and vision benefits for preventative care, provides quick service, offers access to the largest provider networks, and helps you save money when you need more than a checkup, there's only one answer. Definitely Delta Dental. For more information, call Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, 262-783-6161. Eric Pearson, Saganiac Planning, named synonymous with employee benefits and top-notch service.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Alex Strofe.
This Badger Minute brought to you by UW Credit Union. For every stage of life, UW Credit Union is here for every you. Proudly serving Wisconsin for over 90 years. Hop in or hop online at uwcu.org to join. The Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team got back to Big Ten play Tuesday night at the Kohl Center, playing host to Iowa. Wisconsin is now 10-3 on the season after the win. Head coach Greg Gard after the game.
For having 11 days off, I thought this was, we responded to it. I thought we looked a little rusty early, maybe, or any win in this league is important, and take them when you can get them.
Wisconsin returns to action, continuing the homestand this Saturday as they play Nebraska.
Badger Minutes on ESPN Wisconsin are brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule an appointment online today at PellaWI.com.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN, sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
So a year ago at this time, the game will be played, I believe, 364 days after the last time they faced the same scenario. 8-8 record, win the game, you're in the playoffs, you're playing a division rival, you're coming off beating the daylights out of a Vikings team. Rob Domofsky, Tausch's favorite Packers beat guy, asked Jordan Love yesterday about the feeling of coming up short in last year's win or go home game and about the motivation that might provide for them this time around. Here is that exchange.
I know you didn't have control over it last year because you weren't playing. But what was that feeling like walking off this field after the Detroit game last year?
Yeah, it was tough. I think anytime, the season ends, it's always heartbreaking. But to have a situation where, you win, you get in the playoffs, you lose, you're done, those are the tough ones. So, it was tough.
Can you use that as motivation, though, sort of going into the same similar situation?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I don't think we need to use that. I think this team is motivated enough, just the situation we have, to get into the playoffs and how bad we want that. Like I said, just with, the season we've had, the bumps along the road, but to put ourselves in position, I think everybody's very motivated.
Earlier in the day, Matt LaFleur had said, look, this isn't the same team. It's got a different vibe, different team, a lot of different players. Is there any carryover whatsoever? Is there any connectivity other than the coincidence that they're in the same situation, Tausch?
This is just such a different team.
Right.
I know defensively there's a lot of the same guys, but you couldn't have a different operation really all the way through, even though Goody's still the GM and LaFleur's still the coach, and you have all the same staff. There's nobody viewing this game as this is the redemption for last year. There's no redemption. You're not playing the same team. This is more of a, man, I'm excited about our development, and as Jordan just said there, it's about right now, and the fact that this has been such an up and down season that you can finish this thing off on a high note and get into the playoff where you just never know what can happen. Jordan Love is not, I think he was kind of pandering a little bit to Rob, actually. I think he would have probably liked to said, man, Rob had nothing to do with last year.
Right.
Because it doesn't.
I think so,
nothing
too.
At all.
I thought the same thing.
So it's a big old nothing burger, and my guess is Rob probably wanted to write a story that, equated the two. And I don't know if that's going to end up being if you're going to be able to write that. I don't know if you're going to write a story like that. Because it is an interesting little twist, because the odds of it happening are very slim. But here we go. And the only thing that would make it better, in my opinion, is if the Bears had beaten Cleveland and we're in this position where it's both teams are 8-8, winner advances. Right. That would be sexy. In this regard, I think last year I completely underestimated Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions not having a chance to be a playoff team, and the fact they didn't give two hoots about it. Kudos to them. And by the way, that played pretty nicely to their motivation for this season. I think it's so much different that this year, none of last year has anything to do with what this current team is trying to get done.
I would agree. I also, I don't know about you, but they just, for as big of a game as that was, I don't know how many people truly thought, hey, if they get in, watch out, they're going to be dangerous. Now, again, they had won 4 in a row going into that Detroit game, and I feel like we did talk that in those terms of, hey, if they get in, they're on a roll, right? But they didn't. My recollection of that game and feeling it as it was going on was, given the stakes, they just didn't feel like they were playing as if there was this great reward at stake. They just didn't. It didn't have the kind of. They felt a little flat given how big of a game it was. Do you remember feeling that way too?
I think it was more the pressure of that was a playoff game, and Detroit having the freedom to just do. Detroit was going for it on 4th down, running reverse flips. They played like we didn't have a care in the world, and Green Bay played incredibly tight.
Yeah.
And when you play it incredibly tight, you get locked into you get locked into things where it's, I'm just going to get rid of the football. You didn't sense that there was that free flow joy of what you were doing in the week, against Minnesota. And the offense sputtered. The defense, I think, actually played okay, but Detroit played with more emotion because they executed better, and Green Bay fell flat. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be more, how nervy is Jordan in this offense going to be? Mm-hmm. This is a big game. There is a lot of pressure on the Green Bay Packers to win this game because it's the Bears. And I think the Bears, I just don't know if the Bears will have the same mentality the Lions had. I don't know, because they're kind of half in, half out. If I'm Justin Fields, I'm like, well, I'm not even going to be here next year. How motivated is he to finally beat the Green Bay Packers? I'm sure he's motivated. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure Eberflus and their staff are motivated. But it just feels a lot different, and I do agree. Part of it was that I think Green Bay just played an incredibly tight game last year in that season finale.
Tausch, tell us a little bit about Tito's before we get to Power Rankings Tuesday on a Thursday. We know in your vodka power rankings where it lands, and that's number 1.
Tito's is always number 1. Tito's handmade vodka on game day, especially a Sunday night game night. Pour me in, coach. From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, root for your favorite team with your favorite team spirit. And Sunday would be great. You can start your morning stacking a spicy Bloody Mary for your warm-up. Then you can salt the rim of a Tito Rita during halftime, and you can take home the win and a playoff spot with a Tito's and anything. I go cranberry. You can go with whatever you're looking for. You're calling the game. You can change up your roster or wash that lucky jersey as long as you make Tito's your first-round bottle pick. Find cocktail recipes for every fan at Tito'sVodka.com, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Where do the Packers fall in the power rankings is next, and then when we kick off the 11 o'clock hour a little bit later, we'll get to Justin Fields' opinion of the activity options in my town. That's all still ahead. Stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On the air, on
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
I'm very loyal. Even though you might hurt me or do something to me, I always try to forgive you and see the best. And when you were there for me in the beginning, I'm there for you for the rest of our lifetime.
Beats the trailing Giannis, who flushes it through. Once more, he goes right back to the hole and he sends it down. Attacks the rack, sends it down with a grown man dunk.
Giannis Talk, Bucks Talk, 94.5 ESPN.
We won one championship, but I believe that we can win a second one.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
An ESPN Radio Extra Point with Joe Fortenbaugh.
I don't want to have the conversation about Nick Saban maybe having the game pass him by without talking about James Franklin first. Franklin's awful when it comes to big games. Franklin will beat all the nobodies, and he'll beat none of the somebodies. All right? Let's talk about Mario Cristobal at Miami. What's he doing? Nothing. He's a lot of talk. He'll bring a lot of guys in. He is not going to be able to coach his way through a football game. The guy has no idea how to manage football games. You look around, how many coaches would you take over Saban right now? There aren't many. Harbaugh's done a great job at Michigan. Kalen DeBoer has done a great job at Washington. Dan Lanning's done a great job at Oregon. Sarkisian's doing a pretty solid job at Texas, but how many of them are you taking over Saban?
Am I taking Kirby Smart over Saban? Maybe.
Kirby's done a really good job, but the conversation comes down to just a couple guys.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
Hey, it's ESPN Wisconsin's Ben Brust. Men can be their own worst critics, especially as we get older and compare our current self to the younger version. The experts at Forward Healthy Lifestyles in Germantown help men with testosterone optimization, regenerative medicines, heart health screenings, weight loss, and yes, sexual enhancement services. Forward Healthy Lifestyles can offer regained energy and endurance, more muscle and tone, enhanced performance, joint therapies, and more. Change your life and stop comparing who you are now to who you used to be. Visit forwardhealthylifestyles.com for a free consultation.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at titosvodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Now Jesse's going to feel bad. We're going to do
Why is that?
Because we're going to do power rankings without him. Like, we held off all week. Like, couldn't do it Tuesday. You weren't here. Brian Bulaga and I did the show. Could have done it yesterday. Didn't.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Of all the things that we do on this show, if you wanted to take power rankings when I was here, you could have done that. I wouldn't have had any remorse on that.
Yeah, but we were talking about the game, and Brian had a lot of really good insights, and he told that great story about having to go get Five Guys burgers for you guys and almost missing the team flight for his first NFL game. And it was fun. It was a fun show.
Boo-hoo,
You
Blue.
big bully.
Get
big Tauschi
over it.
bully.
Oh. Yeah, bully. You should have seen what I had to do my rookie year. Drive 45 minutes out of the way to go get sandwiches, like in northern Wisconsin. So if you think Blue thinks I'm going to feel bad for him,
wait, tell us more about that.
I ain't feeling bad. No,
Tell us. No, come on.
no, I don't. I know there's certain things you just don't get into, and that's one of them.
But you brought it up.
No, I didn't. You brought it up.
I didn't bring up you driving 45 minutes out of your way to get sandwiches. You did.
Probably exaggerating, but from where I lived in Deep here, I might as well have been driving up to Marinette. Let me just put it to you that way.
Well, were the sandwiches good at least?
Yeah, they're okay. The sandwiches are fine.
That's a ringing endorsement.
They weren't cousin subs, I can tell you that.
Of course they weren't. Indeed. All right. Time now for Power Rankings Tuesday on a Thursday. All right, now, Hunter, do you know what you're doing here?
Sort of. I think so. We'll find out.
So the NFL Power Rankings from ESPN.com and the ESPN NFL Nation beat writers, the 32 Domofskis, as we like to refer to them, they put together their ballots, and on Tuesday they revealed the Power Rankings as voted by those 32 reporters. We begin with Hunter asking for Tausch to give us the top teams in the National Football League, starting at number 1.
So, Tausch, who do you think it is?
Who's number 1?
Yeah.
Baltimore Ravens are number 1.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
That's like a no-brainer. And San Fran's 2.
Yep.
Okay.
3 is probably... who's over there in the... It's got to be Dallas. It's got to be Hunter Vaughn's Dallas Cowboys.
It is.
No wonder Hunter's so nervous.
Every time I feel good about them, they disappoint me, so...
I don't know who would be because the Chiefs shouldn't be. Everybody overvalues the Chiefs. Did they put the Detroit Lions at 4?
Did they? They did.
I think you're gonna. Yeah, I don't think you should, but...
You're on a roll.
Yeah.
Yep. 4 in a row.
And Kansas City's probably 5.
No.
They're going to try to put the Dolphins in there at 5?
Nope. It was the Buffalo Bills at 5.
Wow. They're not even in the playoffs yet, man. But there's a really good chance if Buffalo loses, they don't make the playoffs. Like a really good chance. Pittsburgh is going to probably beat Baltimore without Lamar Jackson and all the guys they're not playing. And then Jacksonville's playing, I think, Tennessee. And if Jacksonville wins, that game for Buffalo is a playoff game. That's it. I wouldn't be putting Buffalo at 5.
That was a good run, but as you point out, the Kansas City Chiefs can no longer be overvalued. They've tumbled all the way to 9, the defending Super Bowl champs. 9.
Yeah, it's not their year. It's just not their year.
No. Dolphins are 6. Browns, who will start their 5th different quarterback because they're going to sit Joe Flacco for their last game, they are 7th. The Philadelphia Eagles have fallen all the way to 8th. And then the Chiefs are 9th. The Rams are 10th. Tausch, where are you putting the Green Bay Packers?
I'm going to put them at 12.
So I find myself wondering if the balloting got a little messed up here, or if I'm becoming as big of a homer as you, which can't be true. Because you have them at 12. I would have said, look, I think they're going to get the last playoff seed. So at worst, they have to be 14. They are 17th
Yeah, that's dumb.
17th.
Yeah, these guys don't get it right all the time. ESPN doesn't get it right all the time. Power Rankings doesn't get it right.
17th. That seems low.
Well, they're going to have the Rams ahead of them because everybody loves the Rams right now.
Sure.
And the Rams are going to limp out of the playoffs after the first round when they play Dallas or Detroit.
Rams are 10th, Texans 11th, Steelers 12th. I guess the Steelers did beat the Packers. Jaguars 13th, Colts 14th, Buccaneers, who did beat the Packers, 15th, Seahawks 16th, Packers 17th. So there you have it.
Yeah, listen, I think you're splitting hairs at that point, but I don't think there's anybody that would be looking at this and saying, well, Seattle's in a better spot than Green Bay. No, they're not. No. Seattle doesn't control anything. There's Tampa I can get because they win the division if they get in. So at this point, none of it really matters. I think that they have Green Bay way too low, but Green Bay's not in the playoffs yet.
It's true.
But they will be if they can find a way to win on Sunday.
All right, those are the power rankings. Tausch,
I wish we played Saturday night, don't you? Don't you wish the Packers had the Saturday night prime timer?
I'd be okay with the Saturday night prime timer. Yep, I would. But they don't. Instead, 3:25 on Sunday. You can hear Green Bay game day.
We got Jimmy. We got Jimmy and Romo, right?
Jim Rome calling the show, which is really strange. I wasn't expecting that.
He's a Scotty guy now. Loves Eagle River.
Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, Tracy Wolfson. Yes, they are the crew. Weird that a conference divisional rivalry game goes to CBS in the NFC, but again, they don't always follow the AFC's on CBS, NFC is on Fox that we used to follow. All right, we need to get to the 11 o'clock hour, and Tausch needs to tell us about his latest exploits on Prize Picks.
Yeah, good night for Giannis. Another good night for old T. Not a great night for the Bucks, but anytime you're playing Prize Picks, it just makes it more fun. Daily fantasy sports made easy, and it is easy. 2 to 6 players. You guys know my theory. I go with 3. I like that. That's my sweet spot. If you want to go to 6, you can get 25x on your money on any entry. You're not competing against me or anybody else. It's just Prize Picks' projections. And entries can be made in 60 seconds or less. It is that easy. You know if I can do it, it is that simple. Download the Prize Picks app or go to prizepicks.com. And if you're a first-time user, use that promo code WI. You get a 100% instant deposit match up to $100. You put $100 in, Prize Picks hammers you with another $100. Just use that promo code WI and get started today. Download the Prize Picks app from your app stores.
We start the 11 o'clock hour with Justin Fields getting his new job as the Director of Commerce and Tourism for Green Bay, Wisconsin. We'll talk about it next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
The Boucher Group has exciting news to share with you. We've expanded to better serve our community.
Introducing Nissan Lake Country, the newest addition to our family.
Step into our showroom and discover our exceptional selection of brand new Nissans.
We are also stocked with the best pre-owned options in the market.
And as we expand, we're not just growing our inventory, we're also growing our team.
So join a team that values your skills and celebrates your success.
Visit us online or in-store today and view our current job listings at bouchercareers.com.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, best-selling author, and founder of the Neal Group, with over 40 years of experience helping businesses make money and keep it. 2023 is almost over. How are you doing? Do you even know how you are doing? Do you have money in the bank? Are you getting the advice you need to minimize your taxes and put more money in your pocket? Do your calls get returned and questions answered? We help you look at your numbers and understand what they mean. How would you like an extra $10,000 or $100,000 in your pocket? We can help you now, before the end of the year. Using tried and true strategies, we have helped countless businesses increase their profits and lower stress. Our Neal deal guarantees you'll increase your profit or you don't pay us. Really. If you want to get started on the road to making more money and having less stress, visit nealgroup.net right now. That's NEAL group.net. The first meeting is free to see if we can help. Again, neilgroup.net.
Call Wisconsin's own Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Don't you wish your life came with a warning app?
That dog does not want to be petted.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith here. You're listening to the home of Marquette basketball. 94.5 ESPN is WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now, and it begins with Justin Fields. Speaking to Chicagoland reporters yesterday in advance of Packers-Bears, Sunday, 3:25. Packers win, they're in the playoffs. Packers lose, still could find their way into the playoffs with a couple of things that could help, but probably not in the playoffs either. And Justin Fields predicting what kind of crowd the Packers will have waiting for the Bears by saying this.
You know, their home field. I know their fans going to be loud because there's not much to do in Green Bay except watch football. But it's going to be a great environment for us to play in, and hopefully we have a great game and get the dub on Sunday. So.
All right, before you respond, a couple things. First of all,
fake laughter.
Fake laughter.
Fake laughs.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Really? We got to get the Chippewa Falls. And then
We got to get the Chippewa Falls.
And then, like, you are the king of pointing out low-hanging fruit. Low-hanging fruit. Is there anything lower than, there's nothing to do in Green Bay? That is low-hanging fruit. I play for the Bears.
Lazy.
Chicago Bears have lots. There's lots to do in Chicago. There's nothing to do in Green Bay but watch football. Look, this is not a bustling metropolis like Chicago or New York or San Francisco, and there's not that much stuff to do here. But what is the point of that joke other than to get cheap, fake laughter from sports writers?
I don't know. It's a way to kind of distract from the fact that you've had no success against this team, and you're downplaying it and trying to throw a little bit of chum at your Bears-infested shark water. That's what that is, and it's dumb. It's lazy. And by the way, I think most of these guys, they live out in Lake Forest. Like, that's where their facility is. I've been out to Lake Forest a bunch. Green Bay is greater than Lake Forest. Now, the city of Chicago has a lot of great things, and by the way,
Chicago.
a lot of bad things. A lot of bad things too. But a lot of great stuff. And there's a lot of restaurants. There's a lot of great things about the city of Chicago. And there's a lot of great things about the city of Green Bay. Is it different? Yes. Is it do you have the same access to plays in Hamilton and all of the music and all the stuff? Probably not.
No.
But these guys are living in most of these guys live out in Lake Forest. Lake Forest would make Green Bay look like New York City. That's all I'm going to say. So
What were you out in Lake Forest so much for?
There's hockey. A lot of hockey out in Lake Forest.
Oh.
There's rinks, and it's suburbia. I mean, it's Joe Suburbia is out there, which, again, most of us, some of us live in suburbia, some of us don't. It is what it is. In this regard, I don't know what Justin Fields is trying to accomplish outside of getting some fake laughs from Hub Arkish and Cap and Sylvie and Waddle. Like, that's good stuff. But Justin Fields knows that his time in Chicago is coming to an end. So he's not going to be the quarterback.
So this didn't bother me. I'm not irritated by it.
It didn't bother. Who did it bother? This is not going to be on Wisconsin's Morning News this morning. Vinny asked me, "Is this going to motivate the players?" And I said, "If this is what motivates the Green Bay Packers, we got the wrong locker room. Winning a playoff spot and beating the Bears for the umpteenth time is much more important." By the way, most of Green Bay's players would acknowledge what Justin Fields is saying is probably true.
Is precisely why I brought this up. So our friend, your fellow entrant, you went in together with this guy into the Packers Hall of Fame, Ryan Longwell, got absolutely eviscerated by Packers fans and Green Bay residents for when he signed with the Vikings, making a wisecrack about how one of the best restaurants...
Did he get the same laughs? Did he get the same laughs?
I think he got even better laughs, if I recall correctly.
That's good. That's important.
How one of the best restaurants in Green Bay was Applebee's.
Yeah.
Now, he left after the 2005 season. And I say this as someone who now has Rustique Pizzeria and a variety of different restaurants that we really like. Applebee's was part of the rotation for us as well in our dating era. Like, there weren't that many great restaurants early. You saw this town grow during your time as an 11-year member of the Green Bay Packers, did you not? There were more restaurants you guys would go to and stuff. Like, it was.
I'll tell you this.
It was tiny.
There was, and I don't know when, there's an Italian spot downtown. I'm not going to give the name out like you just did. And I don't remember if that was in town when we first got there.
You so pick your spots on that. Sometimes you just do it and sometimes you don't.
I understand. There was one spot that was like a higher end on the south side of Oneida. And otherwise, it was Applebee's. It was some of these other spots that you've mentioned, chain restaurants. And we would go down O-line dinner. We'd go down to Appleton pretty consistently because there's more choice. There's more stuff. Now, I mean, I can remember we'd play Monday Night Football, and there used to be a sub place right on the corner in a gas station that we grabbed food at, right next to Lambeau, where Hotel Kohler and all that great stuff up there is now. It used to be an old sub shop. So there isn't – it's changed a bunch. Titletown obviously has been fantastic.
Yeah.
You got a ton of new stuff. But it's never going to be Chicago. It's not going to be New York. And by the way, that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I don't want it to be. I like being 15 minutes from everything. It's a convenient place. I will argue, and I've said this to Mark Murphy, like, I have lots of friends in Milwaukee and Chicago and Madison. Nobody comes up here. Nobody says, hey, let's make an hour-and-a-half drive to go to Titletown. Like, it is not a destination. It is a, hey, we're going to the game. We'll stay at Lodge Kohler or wherever we're going to stay, and we'll head over to Titletown, and we'll get dinner, and we'll walk around and whatever else, right? And then maybe I'll take a tour or a stadium tour or go to the Hall of Fame and see Mark Tauscher's ball, all that kind of good stuff, right? But no one's making the trip up here just for Titletown. Now, that said, they have built a bunch of really nice apartments and condominiums there. Matt LaFleur's parents moved in, so it's convenient for them.
Which one? Where are they at? So we can stop over and say hi.
I don't have the specific address, nor do I have their social security numbers or what they're making in retirement. But my point is that it's been great for our city. And there's a lot of really cool things. I'm still not convinced also that there wasn't some malfeasance that led to Green Bay being named the #1 city in America to live in by U.S. News and World Report.
What do you think happened?
Just happening to coincide with the push to try and get the NFL draft to come here. I don't know.
Well,
I don't know what happened.
No, how does that work? That doesn't.
I don't think there's a stringent voting process. It's kind of like Sports Writer of the Year and the Pro Bowl. Like the voting process seems a little sketchy to me. So I'm just saying, it's a great place. We're happy here. We really are. And there are a lot of nice restaurants now and all the things that... Remember, in 1996, when I started here, this town was not what it is now. And so I would disagree with Justin Fields to the degree that there's not anything.
In all
to do
honesty, I didn't know if we were going to talk about this today. I don't even really feel like this is an oxygen deal. Like, why give this oxygen? It's just dumb. It's a lazy.
Because no.
Lazy.
Here's why I wanted to get to it. I wanted you to tell your stories of your time playing, and then ask you this question: do guys like playing here? Because obviously Justin Fields likes Chicago, likes all the cool stuff that you get to do in Chicago, right?
I don't know. Does he?
Well, if he,
you don't know that.
I suppose. I don't know if you make that joke if you're not happy playing in the big city or if you don't want to be in a big city, right? There's lots of guys that like to say, oh, it feels like going back to college, right? But the fact of the matter is that there's a lot of guys that want the glitz and the glamour of the big city when they're playing the NFL. So in your experience, this was the only reason I wanted to get to this, that and the Ryan Longwell Applebee's story. You think most guys like playing here? Or do you think they wish they would have gotten to play for a team in a big city that treated them well, but they had all the great things about their away from football life?
So I believe that if you're a 22 to 28-year-old, I think you'd rather be in South Beach or in Dallas or in L.A. But I do believe that once you get here and understand that this, the distraction level and all of the other things, it is all ball. And if you love football, if you're in it for all of the other stuff, you're now getting 7 months away from here. You're really only here. You're here sporadically, and then you're here from August through whenever your season ends. And the rest of the time, you go do what you want to do. Do I think most veteran players, if you're on a good football team and you're in Green Bay, you're happier than a clam.
Yep.
And for the most part, we've had good football teams.
Yeah.
If you stink, then you're looking for more things to do off the field, distractions, and you're going to be probably a little more unhappy than if you're in Miami or if you're in Nashville or somewhere else. So I think on the whole, I can only speak for me, but just in other teammates and stuff, I think they would love for more stuff. That's why a lot of guys go down to Milwaukee or Chicago on an off day. But in the grand scheme, it is all about ball. From the month of September through December, you don't have time to do a ton of stuff anyways. And I assure you, nobody likes sitting in 2-hour traffic or having to wake up at 5 a.m. so they don't get caught in rush hour traffic. Green Bay's grown, but I don't think you're sitting on a 172 bridge for 3 hours trying to get over to Lambeau.
Nope.
Maybe 5 minutes, and you're complaining about that.
Yes, you are.
So, on the whole, people, I think, thoroughly enjoy, because this organization has figured out, they have done everything. And I always remember Ted, Ron, and I'm sure Brian all say the same thing to their employees and people. We want to make this so there's no excuses, that everything is lined up so the players have every stinking resource that they possibly can have, so that winning is the top priority. And I think Green Bay, for as much stuff as we want to get into with Mark Murphy and Sledding Hills and everything else, they have done a fantastic job. If you've been through their facility, there is not one thing there's not a stone left unturned for this team and this organization to win at an incredibly high level. And that's a testament to what they've built up there.
All right, that was why I wanted to get to it, because I do wonder, like, if you're like Zadarius Smith, for example, he signs a big free agent contract to come here, right? And it went pretty well for a year, but he clearly was not happy here. Like, he wasn't happy with living here. I just wonder from a free agent perspective, if you're all about ball, like you said, great destination. And if they pay you more than everybody else, you're more than willing to come. But I do think that there are guys that are like, this place is boring. I do think that that's an issue.
I do believe Odell Beckham Jr., that was a big part of why he didn't come.
Yep.
I would bet when you look at when he was in that phase where Green Bay and L.A. were both going hard to try to get him, I think there are some guys that's an important piece to it.
Right.
And that's okay. And totally. Green Bay's not – if that is one of your big criteria, I think Green Bay will fall a little bit short in that. But if it's the other stuff, man, I think pretty much every place else falls short on that.
It's the only reason I wanted to get to this topic, because that I think is really interesting. The bulletin board material. Did Vinny really ask you if he thought this would motivate the players?
He did. He did. And I told him, if this is motivating this group, we have the wrong group.
Well, we are motivated to get to Where's Wilde and Whoa Hunter. Both those things are straight ahead, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
On air, online, and on demand. Get all your favorite ESPN Wisconsin content anywhere you get your podcasts for free. The new Wisconsin On Demand. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you. Kyle Bruston Nortman, weekdays from 2 to 5.
Never, ever, ever getting back together. You go talk. Oh, that's.
Oh, you were off.
You were off. I'm off. I was off.
Presented by Bud Light and sponsored by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Getting back together. There we go. We're just as good as her. We really are.
Kyle Bruston Nortman, right here on 94.5 ESPN. And subscribe to the show on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts.
Meet Alan, who was diagnosed with sleep apnea.
I was what they call a mouth breather, and I would breathe at night with my mouth open.
And for about 8 years, Alan struggled with a CPAP machine. And then
I saw the Advent commercial, and I thought, well, what do you got to lose? This machine is miserable.
For most people, CPAP machines are miserable, but a simple breathing triangle solution from Advent can be life-changing.
And it really was, to me, it was amazing because I don't think I ever breathed that clear.
This is Dr. Madan Kandula. After having one of Advent's simple breathing triangle procedures, people are amazed at how freely and clearly they can breathe.
I'm happy with the procedure. I'm very glad I did it. I wish I would have done it 20 years ago. I could have avoided that machine I had to have laying next to the bed with the hose wrapped around my head.
Schedule your appointment at AdventKnows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better. AdventKnows.com. Results may vary.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee, the voice of Green Bay football. You know, fans count on me to make the right call every time, and I can continue to do that thanks to Summit Eye Care of Wisconsin. When my vision began to drift, my eye doctor said Summit Eye Care was the best place to go. Using the latest adjustable implants, the doctors at Summit were able to fine-tune my vision. In fact, my vision is now the best it's ever been. Summit Eye Care was the right call to help me see all the action on game days.
To schedule an appointment at one of their locations, visit summitiwi.com.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply. Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
For the first time in his career, Packers quarterback Jordan Love has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Love threw for 256 yards with 3 touchdowns and a passer rating of 125.3 in Green Bay's win at Minnesota in Week 17. He also rushed for a touchdown. Head coach Matt LaFleur believes the sky's the limit for his young QB.
You know, Tom Clements deserves a lot of credit for his ability to groom him and the work that Jordan's put in. I think the sky's the limit for him.
The Packers look to clinch a playoff spot Sunday when they welcome in the Chicago Bears to Lambeau Field. Kickoff is set for 3:25.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
The holidays are upon us, and a $500 shopping spree at the Bucks Pro Shop could be yours for gift giving. From exclusive gear and jerseys of your favorite players to collectibles and so much more, the Bucks Pro Shop is the place to make the Bucks fan in your life level up their fandom. From now through January 7th, head to ESPNWisconsinContest.com to enter for your chance at this premier giveaway. That's ESPNWisconsinContest.com. Check your list twice and head to ESPNWisconsinContests.com.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's Handmade Vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
We need to get to a game that Tausch doesn't necessarily enjoy and doesn't necessarily succeed at.
But they're not great at this game.
Yeah, but it leads to some things that maybe you haven't heard, because you certainly wouldn't hear them on this show. Time now for Where's Wilde?
Since he often saves his best material for other shows,
if there's something difficult we need to talk about, let's have the conversation.
We're bringing the other shows to us.
I would be very leery if I was a Packers fan.
Or are we?
Tausch takes a lot of days, man.
It's time to play Where's Wilde?
All right, Jesse Nelson sent over some clips, and according to him, there are some real gems in here.
According to him.
Yes, this is according to Jesse. I haven't listened to any of these, so I'm going in blind with you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Here's clip number 1.
I understand that it's easy to get carried away. I think Tausch at times gets carried away. Even I have to admit, though, that when you look at what they have assembled offensively and what Goody has done, you know, there's a lot of really talented guys for Jordan Love to throw to. Jordan Love's got a really good offensive-minded coach who is showing now what I was trying to tell people back when, you know, some of them wanted him fired, and that was he knows what he's doing. He knows how to design an offense. He knows how to get people open. And on top of all that, Jordan Love looks pretty friggin' good.
All right, Tausch.
Where's Wilde?
Let's say KBN.
Hunter giving the buzzer before I even guess.
We'll just let it be a process of elimination then.
I was going to say, regardless of the buzzer there, that I thought I said that perhaps to Homer.
That was on the Homer
good.
Hour.
Not usually. I remember that I was in the laundry room. That's why the acoustics sounded so good. All right, let's get to clip number 2.
We all know that the rivalry is a fallacy, right? It's not a rivalry for players. It's a rivalry for fans, undeniably, but it's not a rivalry for players. There's not that level of skin in the game for anybody on this roster at this point on either team. Like, it's not Urlacher versus Rodgers.
We'll start with you this time, Jason.
Where's Wilde?
Okay.
I'm changing it up.
Yeah, well, hey, you're in charge. Jesse has abdicated his responsibilities for 2024 thus far by being sick. I think I said that to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
This time I'll wait on the buzzer. Tausch?
All right, I'll say Jen, Gabe, and Chewy as well.
Again, I'm changing it up. I got to keep you on your toes. You're both wrong.
Oh, well, I would have thought you'd have hit the horn. Yeah, I agree. I don't whatever show you said this on. The rivalry piece to this is about having reps and understanding what they're doing. I don't know if we'll see. I think the Bears are going to have to get a lot better and have some continuity with their coaching staff, because for us, the battle lines were with Lovie Smith and his defense and Briggs and Urlacher and Harris. And there is, for as much as the NFL with all the movement of players, there still is a lot of rivalry when you play against a divisional team, especially when you block, if it's Robert Porsche or if it was Adewale Ogunleye for me with the Bears. You end up blocking these guys 8-10 times over the course of your career for full games. You have a good idea of what's happening. They know your weaknesses, et cetera, et cetera. But the NFL has become a fan rivalry deal, much more so than back in the 70s and 80s when you'd play these guys and nobody ever left, and there was a lot of history with each player. Now, you guys are buddies and all this other stuff, so it's a fan deal, and you saw it a lot this offseason in how Bears fans were so giddy that Aaron Rodgers left town. And now I'm guessing, and this might be, since we haven't gotten a poll in the field yet, are Bears fans still giddy about Aaron Rodgers leaving and Jordan Love taking over? Because I would bet most Bears fans are going to say, no, we're not very giddy about what's going on up in Green Bay.
Well, I think we're both supposed to talk to Waddle and Sylvie at some point today, so we'll have to check in with them on that.
Tomorrow. It's on Friday, I think, is what I was told. Maybe you're going today and I'm going on Friday. Maybe that's what it is.
Oh, perhaps.
What I wanted to say back to their producer, you got to pick. I have been your go-to Packers-Bears guy for the last 2 seasons, and now because Wilde bullied you, you're going to ask him to do it too?
I didn't bully anyone.
You bullied him. You made Waddle feel bad. You made Sylvie feel bad.
Okay.
So we'll see.
That was on Rutledge and Hamilton, by the way, which you can hear from 4 to 6 on ESPN Madison.
I'm rereading that text, by the way. It says, are one of you good around 3 or 4 tomorrow and the other available at 5? So are you boycotting? Are you boycotting Waddle?
No. I just got a text. I'm going on Friday.
They moved you to tomorrow?
A little closer to game. A little closer to game.
Yeah, I want the best guy first.
They want their insider closer to game time.
Well, we have one more clip. So here's the final clip.
Waddle and Sylvie.
I was so impressed with how Jordan Love played. You know, I know that this is now 7 games out of the last 9 where he's had a passer rating over 100. He doesn't make mistakes. He doesn't get phased. This has got to be tough for especially Vikings fans who don't know what their future at quarterback looks like, and Bears fans. I'm not saying he's as good as the last 2 guys, but for him to have hit the ground running to this degree and to be putting this team in position to make the playoffs with the youngest roster in the league, with him having had his own growing pains early in the year, and for him to be playing the way he is now. Like, I told you guys when the season started that I thought this was going to be the most fascinating, interesting season I've covered. And this has surpassed my wildest dreams.
All right, Tausch.
Where's Wilde?
Surpassed your wildest dreams?
Yeah, that was strong.
Is that what you just said?
I don't know if you can hear my voice there, but I sound really tired.
Yeah, I'm guessing that was Jen, Gabe, and Chewy after the game. Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
All right, ding him. What?
No.
Oh.
Do we have another guess?
Well, I don't know. I sound like crap. That's for sure. Green Bay game night after the game at like 12:45 a.m.
That is correct.
Yeah, that's
I was battling food poisoning.
And you were sick.
Yeah. I was, that was hyperbole. That not wildest dreams, but all the other stuff is true. Like I did not think he'd be this good this quickly. I thought he would be good. I did not think he'd be that good this quickly. Didn't think he was going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Like I said, I think the only guy I know that had said that is Ty Dunn, the reporter. Other than that, I don't know anyone that has said that Jordan Love from the jump, I'm talking from the jump, would be this great. Nobody. And I feel fairly certain Matt LaFleur is in that camp, that he did not feel like it was going to be this good this quick.
No, I firmly believe that Matt LaFleur now is all in on Jordan Love. There's no doubting it. But if you believe that he was convinced, especially during, what'd you call it, the October swoon?
Yeah,
that Jordan Love was going to be this good? He had his doubts. I'm sorry. He will not say it publicly, but I'm fairly certain he had his doubts. All right, that's it for Where's Wilde. Hunter, what percentage of Woe Hunter will be dedicated to the former president, Gerald Ford?
0%. I can promise you that.
Mm-hmm. Just because of that suspension you got. It's like you learned.
There is a lot.
Staying away from him.
And I'm going to crowdsource this. Does anyone have a good book about Spiro Agnew and Richard Nixon getting out of office and Gerald Ford being put in? The whole concept of how that all came together, because I've been listening to the JFK stuff, that podcast.
Soledad O'Brien and Rob Reiner.
Yeah. I've been listening to that, and I found a couple of things really interesting that the informants in the JFK deal, like, again, there's conspiracy to this, but Rob Reiner and Soledad put it out on this thing, and it's a fascinating listen if you got hours to kill. But then they said something that there were some FBI people up in Watergate, the hotel, the same people that were working on the JFK case. I am fascinated. I want to learn more about, because Watergate, it all comes back to Nixon walking off the plane with his "I'm not a crook" deal and all this. How that all happened with Agnew getting replaced and how Gerald Ford got put in. Anyone have a good book that covers that time frame? Not All the President's Men, but give me a book that covers how all of this came and where Gerald Ford came from and how he was put into the presidency. I would love to read that book. So I'm going to crowdsource that. Hopefully somebody can give me a good book. Jason, you got anything?
How narrow of a window are you crowdsourcing for when you ask for a good book about Spiro Agnew and Richard Nixon leaving office and Gerald? Like, how many books do you think have been written on that subject?
It's the only time a president has been removed from office.
Right, but if it's you want it about
there should be millions of books.
But you want it to be millions of books on the topic. You want it to be specifically. Okay, you want
kind
it to
of
be
a big deal,
right?
Is it not a big deal? You know,
it was a big deal. It was also like 50-some years ago. I just don't know how many books there are that are going to shed light on.
Hey.
They're not going to shed light on the specific aspect of Watergate that you're interested in. That's all.
Well, my point is there should be. There's a lot of moving parts there. You replace two people that were elected in office. That's a kind of a big blanket deal. No? Like,
maybe it's the government covering it up, Tausch, and that's why there aren't as many.
That's true. They didn't allow them to get printed.
Let me tell you something. If you listen to this podcast, there's a lot of stuff there. There's a lot to unwrap with this JFK. And by the way, there were millions of books written on the JFK deal, Jason. And I would argue this is a big deal too. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm not saying it's not a big deal. I'm saying that the narrow area of this story of how those two were taken out of office and Ford put in feels like to me chapters in a larger Watergate book. So if you're willing to read multiple books on Watergate, I agree. But the conspiratorial aspect of Gerald Ford becoming president, I don't know if there's a book or many books or millions of books dedicated to that aspect of Watergate. That's all I was trying to say. It feels a little narrow. That's all.
I just feel like you're poo-pooing what was a big deal, and I think we have not delved into that as much. And since Gerald Ford's guy is on the show today, I'm fascinated to hear more about it. That's all.
I will do some searching through Amazon and Barnes & Noble and try and find you the right book, because I need to augment my Christmas present for you anyway, especially after you got Jesse that shovel while we were at Fleet Farm. So we will get to that. We are going to do Woe Hunter, which will entail, apparently, zero Gerald Ford discussion.
Well, after we just talked about Gerald Ford and Spiro Agnew, now we don't even get any Gerald Ford or Spiro Agnew?
Well, Hunter, you got 4 minutes.
I got suspended the last time I bring up Gerald Ford on this show, and you're just asking for it now? This is
I like
ridiculous.
to push the envelope.
Not. You didn't get really suspended, though. Like that, you still got to go to work and stuff.
I have yet to do trivia. I've yet to write trivia, so I think I was suspended.
I'm not here to judge, but it was fair. All right. What is also more than fair is Steinhoffels. They got great deals, they got great furniture, and they want to make this year great for you and a great sleep. Right now, test rest any mattress at Steinhoffels and get a $25 Portillo's Raising Cane's or Panera gift card. And Steinhafels will donate $25 to Special Spaces. Special Spaces is a nonprofit organization that creates dream bedrooms for children battling cancer. So stop into Steinhafels, test rest a mattress, get $25 for lunch, and help change a child's life. Steinhafels is your mattress destination. Whoa, Gerald is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella at 855-PELLA-WI or visit online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Ever wonder how the best athletes find the power to jump higher, cut quicker, skate smoother, drive farther, and stick the landing? At Prevea Orthopedics in Green Bay, we know power starts with the hips. That's why Dr. Michael Ryan and our team of experts provide comprehensive and advanced expertise in hip care, unlike anywhere else. Come to Prevea Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, where we can preserve your hips so you can pursue your goals. Prevea Orthopedics, specializing in you.
Q Club of Wisconsin is your hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
A new year means new goals for Wisconsin hoops teams. The red and white will make a run to the tournament, and Milwaukee is eyeing up a playoff run in the spring. As Wisconsin's 3PL Evans Transportation knows, it takes a team effort to make those runs, and when it comes to manufacturers' accounting, shipping, and tracking needs, Evans is the supply chain team for you. Good luck to all Wisconsin hoops teams from Wisconsin's 3PL. Find them at evanstrans.com.
Fisco is always there for your auto body care. When accidents happen, Fisco Auto Body on Forest Home in Franklin is there when you need them. Got a broken mirror? They'll take care of it. Dented bumper? Scratch paint? Fisco Auto Body will take care of it. If there's any damage you need fixed, Fisco has you covered. Their expert workmanship is guaranteed for the life of your vehicle. So stop in for all of your auto bumps and dings. Once again, you know the line. That's Fisco.
It's time for the Marquette Minute, brought to you by Steinhafels. Make sure to stop by any Milwaukee area Steinhafels on Saturday, January 6th and get a $100 Marquette Spirit Shop gift card when you spend over $2,999. ESPN Milwaukee will be broadcasting live from the Steinhafels Waukesha location.
Marquette tying a Big East record over the weekend with their 20th straight home Big East victory, a 72-67 win over Creighton. In the game, number 10 Marquette got 10 points from David Joplin, 12 points from Cam Jones, and 2 leading scorers with 15, Tyler Kolek and Sean Jones. Your Shaka Smart after the win.
The way that our guys closed the gap in the last couple rounds of the first half obviously was huge for us to be able to win this game, because for a minute there it was looking like they were going to really extend the lead.
Marquette moves up to 7 in the AP poll, and they will next take on Seton Hall on the road on Saturday at 11 a.m.
This Marquette Minute has been brought to you by Steinhafels and their Marquette Spirit Sales event this Saturday.
True Chicago-style pizza is thin, crispy, and cut into squares. And thanks to Connie's Frozen Pizza, you can enjoy a true slice of the city. You'll enjoy it so much you won't even mind where it comes from. Connie's Frozen Pizzas are made from the same cornmeal crust Connie's has been serving for over 60 years. They're perfectly cheesy, perfectly saucy, and they're exactly what you crave. Get to know the true Chicago style with Connie's Frozen Pizza. Born in Chicago, loved by cheeseheads. Available in a freezer aisle near you.
From a seat in the stands to the best seat on the couch, Tito's handmade vodka is there on game day for every fan. Find cocktail recipes at Tito'sVodka.com. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly. This is Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Sponsored by American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Hey, J-Dub, how many days is this? So I get a new stress squeeze squishy ball pretty much every year, and they always bust. Usually, maybe this year on camera, all the stuff pops up. How many days are you giving this one?
Well, you're pretty rough on those. Is that like a Van Gogh? It looks like kind of a impressionist style.
Yeah, it's got a little suave.
All right, you picking at it too? I thought I saw you picking at it.
No, I just but I double hand and I throw it and I
double hand it. Yeah, I'm going to give it till January.
Feb.
January 28th.
Okay, all right. I think I'd probably take the under on that.
I think I would too.
Hey, did you get that picture? Okay. Did you get that picture I sent to you and Jesse? And I know Hunter, I don't think you were on the text, of that elephant, the baby elephant, and how it takes a year to figure out how to use its trunk. Did you see that picture I sent you?
I did. It was a video. It was like a video clip. Yeah.
Hunter? Can we play video while we're doing this, or is that not allowed?
I mean, we can. I would need it pretty quickly to be able to get it put in here before the end of the show, or we can put that on Stroh for Friday because he'll probably be the one in.
Okay,
so
because we're not expecting Jesse tomorrow either.
No way.
Don't you kind of feel like that elephant's a little bit like Jordan Love
with his arm?
Takes a little time, takes a little while to kind of figure out what arm angles and how you finally get control of what you're doing. I think that elephant, the baby elephant, is a good parallel to the development of Jordan Love.
Okay, so I don't want to use up Hunter's time, but you didn't actually say that in the text message. You just sent the elephant.
I wanted you guys to interpret why I would send that, and nobody even commented on it. I feel like I send stuff, and sometimes now it just becomes white noise, which is very frustrating.
I understand, but so it's a tweet.
Why else would I send you a picture of a baby elephant trying to figure out how to control its trunk?
Because you thought it was cute. Because you thought it was cute.
That's not what
you like cute things.
How many times do I send you things that I just think are cute?
It's just a cute video.
No. It has something to do with something. That's the point. And I want to see how engaged you guys are. And you're not. And it's frustrating.
Whoa,
Whoa, Hunter.
Whoa, Hunter.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Whoa, Nelly!
On Wilde and Tausch.
So there will be no Gerald Ford or elephant talk on Whoa Hunter today. No Spiro Egg, no. So,
thank you, Rob Vogel. Rob sent me a couple things that I'm going to look at and try to find a couple interesting
service,
books.
Rob. Yes.
Thank you, Rob.
Instead of just telling me, there's not much stuff written about that. It's not that big a deal.
Anyway.
Not anything close to what I said.
Last night, I was cooking dinner, and I accidentally burnt my finger. Wasn't at all bad or anything, just one of those weird, annoying things that you have to deal with for the rest of the night. And it had me thinking, what's the worst, annoying injury? Like biting your cheek, stubbing your toe, a paper cut? Which one's the worst? Because I'm pretty sure that, burning your finger while cooking might be the winner.
Sliver.
That is a good
you
one.
think a sliver? How about a Charlie horse? Does that count?
I feel like Charlie horses go away, and the sliver, you got to get a magnifying glass and a tweezers to get that thing out of there.
I think the correct answer is ingrown toenail. Does that count?
I mean, if that gets bad enough, though, you're having to go to the doctor. I'm thinking of something like you bite your cheek. You say you do that during lunch today, which now I probably will.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
It's over by tomorrow morning. Like, that toenail, if it gets bad, you're having to go to the doctor and get it clipped, and it's a whole process.
Tell us more about your history with ingrown toenails, Tausch, without telling us more about your history with ingrown
I've
toenails.
been pretty good with that. That's why That's why I'm a petty guy. I love a good petty. I've told you that, and we're 8 years into the show, and we still have not done a foot bath Friday, which I think is a criminal. It should almost be criminal.
We haven't gotten a partner attached because no one is rushing to be the official foot partner of Mark Tauscher. Whoa, Gerald! That was well done. Do you think that a local podiatrist or a local nail salon would leap at the opportunity to be the official Foot Bath Friday provider of Mark Tauscher? Because if we get a partner attached, I'll go. I will go. I swear I'll go.
Listen, no, this wouldn't be just an old tea deal. This would be the three of us sitting there. We do the show from the foot bath joint.
I don't want to see Jesse's feet in the office. No.
No. It would be on remote.
No, you'd be producing it. No, you'd be producing.
Because Jesse would go along. Because Jesse goes along to all shows that we do.
Any of the fun trips. Any of the fun trips, he's going to come along. The other ones, he's going to pass off to somebody else. That's correct. Jesse's way.
Indeed. All right, Hunter, keep going. Sorry. Whoa, this is your segment.
I mentioned it at the start of the show, how I fully expect the Cowboys to have to play the Packers in the first round of the playoffs, and then I've been having some PTSD of the Jared Cook catch or Dez caught it, which I'll go to my grave saying he did.
Yeah, he did catch it.
He did.
You still would have lost.
But not.
You still lose.
They would have won the
not
game.
According to the rules then. But
no,
go ahead.
You're going to lose the game.
They would have won the game.
Okay.
Am I crazy for having this level of nervousness about the Packers just because of those two moments?
No, I've tried to tell you guys this. If Green Bay gets in, they could easily lose and get blown out in the first round. They could easily make a run. This is a young team with talent. I still just don't trust this defense at all, and I think Dallas would put up 35 points if we played Dallas. In Dallas, which is where we'd play them. I don't trust this defense a lick, but I do trust this offense. I trust this offense against everybody but the San Francisco 49ers. So you don't play San Fran. You don't think if we go play at Philly that we're going to put up points? Or at Detroit? We just saw it. At Detroit, at Tampa, at Dallas. There are going to be points scored. Now, whether or not it's going to be enough to win and how which defense shows up, if it's the soft zone, no pass rush defense, Dak Prescott will eat our lunch. But Dallas will have all the pressure on him. Green Bay, if they get in, there ain't going to be a lick of pressure on anybody. It's going to be free flow Fridays when they get into playoffs.
I agree with everything Tausch said, and I'd like to use my allotted time instead to point out that Rob Vogel, who I love and is a great American and a good friend.
He stood up in your wedding, didn't he?
He did indeed. He just Googled books about Gerald Ford taking over the presidency and sent the link. He didn't discern
more than you did.
Whoa, Gerald! He proved my point. There's lots of books about Gerald Ford. I don't see any that say the conspiracy of how Gerald Ford ascended to the presidency by Oliver Stone.
Isn't it odd how that all played out, though? I never viewed it as odd until I was listening to this JFK.
And you thought of Hunter.
Kinda.
I didn't want to talk about this on this segment, and you forced it
When do you
in.
want to talk about it?
I really don't want to talk about it.
No, you have to now. We're making you. Hunter, do you find it to be the curious case of how Gerald Ford became president, being the
Never got a vote. Never got a vote for it.
It is interesting considering he also oversaw the Kennedy investigation. I firmly believe that they found out something that was not supposed to. They weren't supposed to, and then needed to buy them off with power.
Very interesting. But
the problem is,
nobody
I
talks
believe a
about
lot
it.
of conspiracy theories, and I try not to talk about it.
Why isn't Rob Reiner putting a pot out about that? Why are we not
maybe that's the
fascinated
next
by that
one.
like we are with JFK? That's all I'm asking.
You're just asking the question. As long as we don't start attacking Jimmy Kimmel, we're fine. We can ask that question. I am curious because you're and
Do
we
you
gotta
like
go.
Jimmy Kimmel? Do you like Jimmy Kimmel?
No, that was just a reference to Rogers. That's all that was. I'm not here to say who I like and who I don't like. I just want to know if the...
Have you watched a Jimmy Kimmel episode in the last 2 years?
In the last 2 years, I have probably seen an episode, yes.
Okay.
I do not make it appointment television like I did with David Letterman when he was on the air. That's it for Woe Hunter. Tausch, before we run out of show, which is probably too late, you need to tell us about your love for Coors Light.
Coors Light, I'm going to get some of the Spiro Agnew, Gerald Ford books, and I'm going to crack me open a Coors Light and just chill and learn and explain to you guys what all happened. The mountains will be blue. That's when I know it is chilled to perfection. That's what is always Coors Light in my head when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
We'll wrap things up next, Gerald. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch continues next on 94.5 ESPN, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and sponsored by American Family Insurance. The stage is set. It's Michigan and Washington battling for the title. This is Boucher Automotive College Football Championship Week. Tune into our coverage all week long and catch the game right here on 94.5 ESPN on January 8th. With 16 new car brands, over 35 pre-owned brands, and 5,000 vehicles in stock, Boucher Automotive is where you'll find your next ride. It's Boucher Automotive College Football Championship Week on 94.5 ESPN.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone. From beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now and for more information. Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Adulting in the fall means responsible spiking. For pumpkin spice or whatever your preferred fall drink concoction is, spike it with rum chata. It's a solution for any occasion. Rum chata is the world's finest liqueur featuring premium Caribbean rum combined with vanilla, cinnamon, and the highest quality dairy cream sourced from Wisconsin. Enjoy a smooth shot or a tantalizing spiked beverage with Rum Chata Original. And, backed by popular demand for a limited time, Rum Chata Peppermint Bark. Rum Chata, the superior way to spike and sip responsibly this fall.
Gruber Law Offices and other business owners help local startups get on their feet on Project Pitch It. Watch it Saturday nights at 10:35 on WISN 12. One call, that's all.
Hi, this is John Neal, CPA, founder of Right Choice Tax Resolution and best-selling author on how to have less stress with the IRS. Why do so many people live years with back tax problems? You didn't file one year because you were sick or thought you couldn't pay. Then next year you didn't file again. Soon you think you can't file. You do things that don't make sense or may be illegal. Don't bury your head in the sand and hope the problem will go away. It will only get worse unless you make the right choice and step up to get them off your back. Do you want your paycheck garnished, a lien on your house, your passport revoked, or your bank account wiped out? We help reduce or eliminate penalties, negotiate payment plans, and file back tax returns. My latest book has advice on what to do to avoid trouble with the IRS. Make the right choice. Go to rightchoicetax.us to book a call or in-person meeting right now. We know you want to take the first step in getting the IRS off your back so you can live again. That's rightchoicetax.us.
Even when the weather outside is frightful, your energy bill could be much more delightful. Replacing drafty windows and doors can dramatically lower your energy costs. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin's energy-efficient windows keep the cold outside where it belongs. You'll help kick the January blues when you choose to book by the 31st for 0% interest up to 36 months. You heard that right. No interest for up to 36 months if you book by January 31st. Visit PellaWI.com.
Certain restrictions apply.
Mark Tauscher here, and these days I am sleeping better than ever. I am so thankful I met with the great team at Advent to help solve my sleeping problems. The Advent team is so great to work with, and their consultations are very informative. The Advent team listened to my struggles, and rather than forcing a surgery, they helped me find the best solution for a better night's sleep. My family and I are so thankful the solutions from Advent worked. To see how they can help you with snoring, sleep apnea, and nasal breathing problems, go to adventknows.com, because Advent knows when you breathe well, you live better.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
You're listening to Wilde and Tausch on 94.5 ESPN. Missed any of the show? Find us on Wisconsin On Demand wherever you get your podcasts. It's free, it's everywhere, and it's for you.
I'm sorry, Rob Vogel, if I hurt your feelings. There is one part here.
Yeah, you were a jerk to Rob right there for best man in your wedding or
all
one of the
he
guys.
did. I stand by my criticism, but I did find within that search a list of the best books about Gerald Ford, but still nothing specific on that. Tausch will have his book report for us tomorrow, plus a headline, maybe.
I don't know.
There's some questions.
I'm nervous.
About
no
it.
Jesse, no headline.
Tune in tomorrow. Thanks for coming along for the ride with us today. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin? Commercial-free full show podcasts are available free on Wisconsin On Demand.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
Stay up to date on the green and gold all season. The Green and Gold Fix podcast is brought to you by Potawatomi Casino Hotel. Luxury stay, elite play, unwind in sophisticated comfort. Win big, dine, and experience the events in Milwaukee.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a
I'm Christine Lisi. The Lakers contemplating how to right the ship after their 8th loss in 10 games, 110-96 to the Heat last night. Coach Darvin Ham says it's a little bit of everything, including not executing. LA's fallen to 10th in the Western Conference. Ham says he'll consider going back to the starting lineup the Lakers used down the stretch last season and first few rounds of the postseason. LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Austin Reeves, Jared Vanderbilt, and D'Angelo Russell once Russell gets healthy. LA is home to Memphis tomorrow, 10 Eastern on ESPN. A judge in the Dominican Republic will rule tomorrow in the case of Rays shortstop Wander Franco. The judge, scheduled to analyze documents and other evidence from a months-long investigation and issue a ruling whether prosecutors have enough evidence to proceed with the case. Franco's accused of having a relationship with at least one minor. He remains in jail for now.
From the ESPN studios at Pier 17 in the Seaport District of New York City, this is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch the show on the ESPN app.
Back and better than ever, Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance, and away we go into an unbelievable weekend of football. We got 2 huge games on Saturday, playoff implications. We got the full slate on Sunday where all will be revealed, and of course the national championship game on Monday night. You can't ask for more. D Wood is here. Let's go.
Here we go!
Only one place to start.
Well, the one place to start clearly is with all the NFL action we have going on. Hembo will be with us coming up shortly, and it is my delight, my pleasure, my honor, my privilege to welcome my good friend Damian Woody, who's good enough to hang out after we wrap up Get Up. Thank you, as always, D. Wood.
Man, it's always a pleasure to be with you, my brother.
So the question that I'd like to ask you here to begin this conversation is, because it's not really something we would take the time for on the TV show, but anyone who watches the TV show can recognize that I felt like for about the first something like 10 weeks of the season, you had a very nice casual look about you. You came in, sweaters, very nice. I thought you looked very nice. You looked at home. I want you to be at home when you were here. And then all of a sudden, it just shifted. Every week, you got the nice double-breasted suits, including today, a beautiful gray number. But you've had that lately. Was this a conscious decision? What changed in the Woody household?
Yeah, it was very conscious. It was very planned on my part. And shout out to the wife. She, obviously coordinated the looks and everything. And, we always talk about you want to be playing your best ball late in the year.
Uh-huh.
You want to go into the postseason with momentum. And, that was kind of like my mindset. I want to just, I had a certain look, a certain feel early on, but I wanted to make sure come, the latter part of the year, playoff time, that everyone understood what time it was.
All right, I like it. You are playoff ready in every way. All right, we've got three things I want to get to with you in the time that we have you here. Let's start with the Bill Belichick of it all. You were drafted by the New England Patriots. You began your career there playing for Bill. You won Super Bowls there playing for Bill. And I guess because we just sort of live in this microwave society, I feel like not enough attention is being paid to the fact that we are probably right before our eyes seeing the end of an era, seeing the end of something that we may very well never see again. If you had to bet on it, you would bet that in our lifetimes we will not see another coach win 6 Super Bowl championships with a team. Do you think Sunday will be the last game for Bill in New England? And if so, what are your thoughts?
Greeny, I've struggled with it because I know what Bill has meant to the New England Patriots organization. I know how the relationship between Bill and Robert Kraft and the amount of success that both of those men have had in New England. But I just something just feels like it's time. That it's time. Like all good things come to an end.
Yeah.
All great runs, come to an end. And New England has just been on this unprecedented run. I mean, think about, we could go into all the stats and all the accomplishments, the 20-plus years up in New England. But it just feels like with New England being in a year where so many things have gone wrong, they're going to probably have a top 2 pick this year, probably, where they'll get an opportunity to get a quote unquote franchise quarterback. That this would be the right time to kind of I guess quote unquote go their own separate ways. I don't think Bill would get fired. I think he's so accomplished and done so many things for that organization. The scenario I brought up in Get Up was he gets traded. We've seen that before. Sean Payton got traded to the Denver Broncos.
Herman Edwards, Bill Parcells,
we've seen
Belichick himself.
Yeah, we've seen it time and time again. And so I think that's the scenario, to me, plays out very well, where New England Patriots get to kind of quote-unquote reset the organization, and Bill goes on to another organization where he can chase that all-time wins record.
Which one would assume would mean a lot to him. And
yes.
I don't know what the idea of winning without Brady would mean to him. I honestly don't know. He's such a different person. Like, I think it meant a lot to Brady to win without Bill. I have no idea if it would matter to Bill to be able to say, I also won without Brady. I'm going to use an analogy. I remember when Kobe and Shaq went their separate ways. Remember, Shaq won a championship first in Miami. And that was a very big deal. And then Kobe came back and won more with the Lakers. Right. And that all, like, this feels a little bit like that. Like, Brady goes off. He wins his championship. Does Bill then get the last laugh somewhere else? I don't know if that matters to him or not.
Listen, I don't know the answer. Bill is tightly guarded when it comes to those type of things. But I will say this. We, as it relates to Bill and Tom, we're talking about the two preeminent, what I call alphas, in the game of football. And listen, everyone, when you reach this level of success, everyone has an ego. Greeny, everyone has an ego. You don't think it crossed Bill's mind like, I want to win a championship without Tom? I hate a chatter out there. I mean, this is the same Bill Belichick. I used to come in and go into the facility, 5 o'clock in the morning. Bill's on the Stairmaster with a stack of paper with all the media clippings and what people were saying about New England and all those type of things. He hears the chatter, and I think he ultimately does want to win another championship without Tom.
He is so different from the persona that he exhibits, right?
Oh, absolutely. Listen, I wish everyone could get to know and understand Bill, behind the scenes, outside of what you see in the media, because he really does have a funny personality. He's that type of guy. Now, don't get me wrong. He is all business. He is all business. But he does have a personality that is quite funny, to be honest with you.
I've heard that from so many people, and I've seen only tiny glimpses of it in moments that I've had in his presence over the years. One way or another, that may very well be coming to an end this weekend. Greeny with you, coming to you live from the Seaport District at Pier 17, brought to you by Chase. Damian Woody is with us here. Then I want to get to two things we disagreed on the show today. The first of them is the very top of the upcoming NFL draft. The Chicago Bears are assured of having that pick. They've played a lot better this last month or whatever it is of the season. Justin Fields go up to Green Bay this weekend. We'll see if they get a win. They're 8-9, which, considering they were the worst team in the NFL last year, it's pretty good improvement. And they have the first pick in the draft with Caleb Williams sitting there. If you were them, what would you do?
I got to be honest with you. I've struggled with this a lot because I think here's the thing that I really struggle with. Greeny, you cover the draft. We all know that the draft is a crapshoot.
Yep.
It doesn't matter if you're picking first or Mr. Irrelevant. It's all a crapshoot. No one knows how these prospects are going to turn out in the National Football League. Here's what we do know. We have 3 years. We have a body of work on Justin Fields where we can kind of evaluate and maybe project what he could be if surrounded by the type of pieces and type of assets that Chicago Bears could have if they trade away the number one pick. I mean, think about it. You trade away the number one pick, if you're the Bears, they're getting a bigger haul than what the Carolina Panthers got last year.
And let me stop you there because we looked into it yesterday. I'll tell you exactly what it was. They got DJ Moore,
right,
which is a Pro Bowl caliber, top 10 player at his position in the NFL.
Yep. They
got last year's number one, this coming year's number one, and a 2, and another number 1. So we're talking about, or another number 2, excuse me. So they got all of that for Bryce Young. To your point, that last pick, I think you could get another number 1.
Yes.
Because it's Caleb Williams. So we'd literally be talking about 3 1s, 2 2s, and a player. How do you turn your... What are the chances Caleb Williams winds up being so much better than Justin Fields that it's worth turning your back on all of that? That's the question.
That is ultimately the question I think the Chicago Bears have to wrestle with. Now, let me play devil's advocate here because obviously everyone talks about the generational prospect that is Caleb Williams. We know what type of career he's had at USC. But more importantly, the financials of this whole thing. Being able to, quote-unquote, reset the contract, which is a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. To have a quarterback, a rookie quarterback under team control for 5 years and to be able to use the salary cap to continue to build around them, that's a big deal. So I've struggled with it. Ultimately, I feel like they end up drafting Caleb Williams, but man, it's so enticing to trade away that pick and get a bounty of picks to really build around Justin Fields.
So, look, I know that people are talking about Caleb Williams like he can't possibly miss, and I hope he doesn't. Everything I know about him, he's a great kid. I want all these young men to have enormous success. But let's just analyze what the likelihood is that he's worth 3 number 1s, okay? So I'm just going to throw some names at you. Take Trevor Lawrence out of the equation. It's too recent. It's not fair to him to make this evaluation. I'm just going to tell you the name of a quarterback who was the first pick in the draft, and you tell me, would you trade 3 number 1s for that guy? Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Yes, for sure. That's a yes. Kyler Murray.
No.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
Going back. Jared Goff.
No.
Jameis Winston.
No.
Let's see, a quarterback didn't go 1 that year or that year. Andrew Luck.
At that time, yes.
Yeah, probably yes. So there's one. Cam Newton.
3 1s?
Mm-hmm. Let's even say yes. He was an MVP of the league.
He was an MVP of the league, yes.
Sam Bradford.
No.
These are the guys who went first overall. Matthew Stafford, the number 1 overall. Jamarcus Russell, number 1 overall. Alex Smith, number 1 overall. So the point that I'm making here is, more often than not, or at minimum as often as not, when you have the first pick in the draft and you take a quarterback, it's a 50-50 proposition, tops. The idea that you're going to turn your back on 3 ones, like right now, who would you rather have, Justin Fields or Daniel Jones?
Justin Fields.
It's not even close. Right? Well, the Giants have Daniel Jones on a reasonable contract. Justin Fields, you can have him tied up for the next 2 seasons. You pick up his 5th-year option. I guarantee you that by 2 years from now, they'll have some other kid in the draft everyone is saying is a generational prospect. In the meantime, you surround this guy with an unbelievable collection of talent, and we see what happens. One more for you here. D. Wood in my studio with me that we disagreed on before I let you go. You believe if we were playing the confidence game, the confidence picks, that you would say Matthew Stafford is the number 1 quarterback in the NFC going into these playoffs. Tell me why.
Yeah, I think that if you look at the last month plus, I would say with 5 weeks, Matthew Stafford has been playing the quarterback position as good or better than anyone in the National Football League. Matthew Stafford is a Super Bowl winner. Matthew Stafford has just been – I just look at – the way that people also got to understand the Los Angeles Rams are ahead of schedule right now. Big part of that is because of the way Matthew Stafford has come back after an injury-riddled season last year. He's been playing lights-out football. Now, listen, there's been other factors in play as to why the Rams are where they are, but mainly because of the way that Stafford has played, particularly the latter part of the season. So I'm all about how are you playing going into the postseason? Okay, not the beginning of the season, because if we look at the whole season, yeah, Dak has had a better year. But how are you playing going into the postseason? And for me, if I'm betting money, I'm taking Matthew Stafford over any quarterback in the NFC.
And let me make your point for you. In his last 5 games, Stafford, 66.5% completion, almost 1,500 yards in 5 games, 11 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he has been as good as anybody. He's the only quarterback on the NFC side who has won a Super Bowl. Now, Goff has been to one, and Jalen Hurts has been to one. Neither one of them won. Dak is the other option here. He's 2-4 in his postseason career. The only thing I would say about Dak is, if not now, when?
Right.
Like, I feel like it's there for him, and I feel maybe this is my own bias that I'm bringing to the table, but I've always been a Dak believer. I've always thought there was another level he could take his career to, and this season he's sort of done it. He was in the MVP conversation. This is the time.
Here's the argument I will make for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah.
I think, first of all, get this win this week against Commanders.
Yes.
I think it would be so big for the Cowboys on a multitude of levels, but mainly because you win the division, you lock up the number 2 seed, now you got opportunity to have multiple home games.
Yep.
And I think that we all know Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott, they're a different team at home. And if the Cowboys are able to win those games at home, now the road goes to Santa Clara, you win those home games, it's all about momentum. Greeny, you know this. Like in the postseason, when you get to the end of the regular season, postseason, it's about momentum. Who's playing their best ball at the right time? And I think having those home games would do wonders for the psyche for Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys.
They're unbeaten at home, and let me just go through the scores of their games. These are their home. The scores of their games. Again, they won all of them: 30-10, 38-3. 43-20. That was against the Rams, by the way. 49-17. 45-10. 41-35 was that great game against the Seahawks. 33-13 was that game against the Eagles. So they have then the Lions 20-19 the other night in that game that was very close. So they've not only won, but they've been dominant most of the season at home. D. Wood, you are the best. Thank you, big fella.
Oh, thank you.
I appreciate seeing you. Enjoy the games this weekend. We'll see you. Coming up next, I will explain why we may be in the midst of the unlikeliest story ever. That's next on ESPN Radio.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn
popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Previously on Greeny.
Happy New Year, Hembo.
Happy New.
What does that mean? Who says Happy New?
I'm just reciprocating the thought.
Here we go again. You just left out the word year?
But it's implied, no?
Well, perhaps, but a lot of things are implied. I mean, did you just say Merry Chris?
But I didn't use a word and a half. Merry Chris would be a word and a half.
Okay.
We literally can't do anything with this guy.
You're shorthanding Happy New Year. It's 3 words.
What's wrong with that?
I'm going to do what my wife always does. My wife will turn to me and say, well, I'm not speaking to you now for the rest of the day. So I think I may not speak to Hembo now for the rest of the day.
This is Greeny.
This is what we deal with on a day-to-day basis as we roll along. Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. The assembled members of the hashtag crew are indeed assembled around us. Hembo is here. Bubba and Cam are in Bristol. Jack will join us shortly. Bubba just making his way over after recording the podcast with Buster Olney here, and so he's making himself comfortable. We were just mocking once again your ridiculous Happy New thing, which is...
I don't understand. It's really going to catch on.
But what does that even mean?
I mean that me and Jack are both going to say it.
It catch on. You're going to catch. It feels more like something one would catch because it is contagious like a disease.
It's like that awful?
It's that bad.
I listened back to that segment. I sound really annoying.
Yeah. Oh God.
I mean, I love like the shortening of the expression.
Just that segment?
Like I am very cringy.
Yeah.
Like listening to myself, I don't like at all.
That no one likes listening to you. I mean,
yeah, that's how we feel every
We don't know
segment.
why we do this.
I don't know why I talk or am allowed to, but I feel the same way about me as you do, which is a very odd thing to say.
the self-loathing.
Now you understand.
It continues exactly
3 years.
right.
This is why people shake nerds.
Okay, in 30 seconds, I'm going to explain how we may be on the verge of the craziest story ever. It might literally be the craziest story ever. That's 30 seconds from now after this word from Grainger. For the ones who get it done, Grainger offers high-quality supplies and solutions for every industry, as well as access to product specialists who have the knowledge and experience to answer your toughest questions. Plus, their commitment to being your safety partner can help you keep your facility safe and your people safer. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Okay, let's get to the scoop.
The Scoop.
What is going on with Joe Flacco right now is potentially on its way to being the craziest thing that has ever happened in football. And I don't think that is such an exaggeration. When Joe Flacco, who was a good but not great quarterback, won the Super Bowl in Baltimore, went just unconscious, had an Eli Manning-esque kind of postseason run, led the Ravens to an incredible Super Bowl victory, and wound up becoming, for a moment in time, the highest paid quarterback in the NFL. Bet on himself, got that contract, deserved it, all that stuff. That was unlikely based upon his previous career that he would do that, but it was the sort of thing we see in football all the time. If you're thinking about the unlikeliest Super Bowl winning quarterback, so let's just keep it to the Super Bowl era, the name that first jumps to my mind is Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner, who was bagging groceries not long before he became the MVP of the league. That story was so unusual, so unlikely that they actually made a movie about it. But he was the MVP of the league that year. By the time we got to the Super Bowl, this was no surprise. Jeff Hostetler was a lifelong NFL journeyman backup quarterback type who got thrust into the starting role for the Giants when Phil Simms got hurt. I don't remember what week it was. It was late in the season, something like with something like 4 weeks left. It was something like that. And he led the Giants to that Super Bowl win in which they beat Buffalo, the Norwood field goal miss. That was unlikely, but he was a backup. I mean, Nick Foles was a backup. Those things, those are names you knew. They were players who'd been in the league, and they'd been on the teams all year, and the teams won with their backup. And people sometimes forget that the Dolphins, the 72 Dolphins, who did not lose a game, played half that season with their backup. Earl Morrall started more games that year than Bob Greasy did, although Greasy came back in time to win the Super Bowl game, and he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. And Morrall was the backup. So we've seen backups thrust into the spotlight, Hembo, many times and winning championships. When did Joe Flacco get to Cleveland?
He's only started 5 games.
5 games.
Thanksgiving-ish.
And prior to that, he wasn't on the team. It's not like he started 5 games because the quarterback got hurt that week. Deshaun Watson got hurt a long time ago. they went with two other people entirely, P.J. Walker and then the young guy with the three names, I forget. DTR. And they signed Flacco in late November.
Yeah, the 30th of November.
The 30th of November. On Thanksgiving, he wasn't on the team. Let me say that again. On Thanksgiving, he wasn't on any team. What?
It was November 20th that they signed him to the practice squad.
Practice squad. So on Thanksgiving, he was on the practice squad. He wasn't allowed at the big table on Thanksgiving. On Thanksgiving, he was in the practice squad. So, you know, like when you're a kid and all the grown-ups are sitting at that table and you're sitting at the lousy little one and they've got the wine at their table and you've got, like, juice.
Chicken nuggets.
That's what he's got.
Hembo's still at that table.
He was Hembo prefers that table. But anyway, that's where Joe Flacco was on November 20th, November 30th. He was on the Jets the last few years. No one looked more done than he did. He was as done could be. He was as retired could be. And for him to come back and set the world on fire as he has in the last month and lead this team to a championship, which absolutely is possible. They are absolutely in that discussion. I'm not sure this wouldn't be the craziest Super Bowl story that we've ever had.
So I looked up all quarterbacks to ever start in the Super Bowl that did not make their debut for that team that season until after week 10. So backups that were thrust into duty late. The entire list is Nick Foles, Colin Kaepernick, who replaced Alex Smith.
Right, he was on the team all year, of course, but yes.
Jeff Hostetler, whom you mentioned, and then in 79, Vince Ferragamo for the Rams.
Right, Pat Hayden got hurt.
That is the entirety of the list.
Right. And again, those were all... Ferragamo was a pretty unusual... I mean, I was a kid, so I'm remembering this, as best I can. Hayden was a reasonably well-known player. He was a good player. Ferragamo came in. He was like a real good-looking kid, and I remember there was a lot of attention paid to that, and that Rams team made the run. That was the Jack Youngblood team. They lost to the Steelers in the fourth of the Steelers' 4 championships in that run. It's not one I remember as intimately. I don't think it... Look, Flacco's had a much better career than Vince Ferragamo. He's had a much better career than Jeff Hostetler. Who else did you say? He's had a much better career than Nick Foles.
And the other was Kaepernick. It was kind of different situation.
Well, yeah, he's had a better career. He's had a longer career than Kaepernick. He won a Super Bowl. He's had a better career than Kaepernick got the chance to have, too. So the point is, he's not as unlikely taking that part of into account. But the fact that that he was a retired player. He was a retired player. Whether he didn't file his paperwork, but he was a retired player. And they sign him November 20th to the practice squad, elevate him November 30th, and he might lead this team to the Super Bowl, and he very well might. That is unimaginable.
The amazing thing about all of this is not that Kevin Stefanski has asked him to color inside the lines and hand the ball off. The Browns have a bottom 5 run game since he became their starter. But during that time, Joe Flacco, a 38-year-old Joe Flacco, leads the NFL in passing. He leads the NFL in passing yards since he unretired.
Yeah.
He's got 24 completions, 15-plus yards down the field. That leads the NFL. Yeah. His average touchdown pass is 28 yards long. Joe Flacco is, flinging it. He is the reason the offense can hum. And by the way, our analytics say that the Browns defense is the best unit. Number 1 in the NFL. The first of 64 units in the NFL. So you pair Joe Flacco's fountain of youth with that Browns defense. I agree with you. Right now on ESPN Bet, you can get the Browns at 18-1 to win the AFC. It's pretty tasty.
I'm in.
Pretty tasty.
And let's do it. Let's play that.
I'll play it right now.
I 100% like it.
Play it right now.
Okay, so Joe Flacco, insane story, and we're talking about it as the morning goes. You can be a part of Greeny Nation on the Dr. Pepper calling line. ESPN Nation is presented by Dr. Pepper. It's not college football season without the delicious taste of an ice cold Dr. Pepper, the one that fans deserve. Meanwhile,
I need you to listen carefully.
I just want you to know. I would like to bring Jack into the conversation. Jack, who is becoming something of a, I'm not sure what we would describe him. Is he Hembo's intern? Is he Hembo's pet. I'm not sure exactly what he is, but Bubba and Cam, you guys know Jack. He is our dopo, our director of printing operations, who was hired by Hembo's wife and whose primary job responsibility, from what I can see, seems to be following Hembo around and generally making Hembo feel good about himself.
He's also an aspiring broadcaster.
And an aspiring broadcaster who is going to be a play-by-play guy, and we're going to get him a gig, and we will once again show off your credentials on that in a moment. But Jack, welcome back to the program. Okay, let's get that mic on. Can we get the mic on there for him? I actually think it's better when we can't hear him. Jack, I think, is at his most effective when we can't hear him. Anyway, Jack has made his way in here. So I'm understanding between the two of you, and Bubba and Cam, you're going to hear about this just as the same as I am, that we have something of a discrepancy that involves Hembo, Jack, and Hembo's wife.
That's right. So as I mentioned yesterday on the show, I gave Jack a wonderful and expensive backpack for Christmas.
When you say expensive, what 4 letters were on it?
ESPN.
And how much did you pay to own it?
None.
Right, because that was just given to you. In fact, it was given to everyone in the company.
That's right. But it's a nice, expensive backpack.
And
like the retail price would
You gave
be
that
high.
to Jack for Christmas.
I did.
And what did he give you?
He gave me a lottery ticket.
A lottery ticket?
A lottery ticket for
He
Christmas.
went out and bought a ticket, like the actual lottery that you could win like millions of dollars. Is that right?
I don't know about millions. I
Why
think
not?
it was up to 10,000.
Sell the story. Sell the story, Jack. It could be millions of dollars.
You don't even
bought
know
him a
what the
lottery
ticket
ticket. Okay.
It's like
This
what
is
your
why
uncle gets you when you're 18.
This is why he's the dopo. So anyway, this was a lottery ticket that could turn into it could be a windfall,
a fortune.
And how much did you spend on this ticket?
$2.
A $2 ticket, but it could become something very valuable to you, and he gave that to you,
which I thought was very kind.
Okay.
So I showed Lizzie, my lovely wife, who hired Jack to this position parenthetically, and I said, Jack and I made an agreement today that if we hit and we win the lottery, we're going to split our winnings.
Wait, so you said to Jack that the ticket he gave you as a gift, if it wins, if it hits, let's say it is $10,000, that you are going to give him $5,000 of those dollars.
We're splitting it 50-50.
Okay.
And we agreed that that was fair.
Well, what's fair about it? I don't understand. He gave you a gift. Right. So if I give you a shirt and I say, but anytime I want to borrow that shirt, I can wear it anytime I want. We're splitting the shirt.
Well, that's different because the shirt can only have so much value.
Okay, how about the backpack? If you say, but every now and again, I'm going to need that backpack back for when I'm going to do something.
But a backpack can't turn into $10,000.
A gift is a gift. So if he gave you the gift, then if it turns into something that is worth $10,000, that's your money.
My
it's
wife
not his.
Inexplicably agrees with you.
So she's mad at you.
Yes.
That you said you would split the $5,000 with him.
Keep in mind, we haven't even checked if we've won anything yet.
Okay.
But she's
You haven't
mad.
scratched it off yet?
No, I've not scratched
Gave it
off
to you
yet.
like 3 days ago.
You did, but I wanted to make sure that we adjudicated this here because I was actually planning on scratching it off because you guys know how I feel about the lottery.
Okay.
But either way, Lizzie doesn't agree with this. She found it offensive.
It is.
You think it's offensive, right? So if you gave me a piece of, let's say, art that was worth almost nothing.
Right.
And we came to find out that it was worth $10,000.
Right.
You think I should be able to sell that for $10,000?
There's a couple of reasons why that isn't the same thing. But generally speaking, the answer is yes. If I give you a gift, then get to the, buyer beware or whatever, caveat emptor, whatever that expression is. If I give you something, it now becomes yours. And if it all of a sudden proves to have far greater value than I thought, that's not your problem and it's not your fault. He's 100% right. Jack, do you feel like you are entitled to $5,000?
No, I don't. I would definitely accept it gratefully. But
You would
I
accept
don't think
it.
I'm entitled.
You would accept
no
it.
one
I would
wouldn't
definitely
accept
accept
it. What person in the world would you say, here, I'd like to give you $5,000, and they say, no thanks?
No, it sounds like the integrity of this lottery thing is super important to people.
No, it's not. It is not that. The point is you are under no obligation. I feel like it's not like you said out of the goodness of your heart, you know what, that's such a nice gift. If I win it, I'm going to split it with you. It sounds to me like you feel you are obligated to split it with him, and we're telling you, no, you're not.
No, I would feel dirty spending those $5,000 knowing that Jack spent $2,000 on this lottery ticket that hit, and he gets nothing.
You know what you could do?
What could I do?
You could give him back $2, and then you could keep the other $9,998.
There's another factor at play here.
What
Jack,
is it?
Is that Cam asked me yesterday, is Jack paid? And I answered yes.
Modestly.
Right.
Which is accurate depiction.
Which is part of the discussion, too.
No, it's not.
If you gave me a lottery ticket.
Right.
And it hit, I wouldn't feel obligated to split it with you, certainly.
Okay.
But Jack is below me on the totem pole, and you are above me on the totem pole.
But here's what I would say. If you gave me a lottery ticket and it hit, I wouldn't feel obligated to share it with you. So people might say this is different. So Bubba, over the many years on Mike and Mike and on this show as well, we have bought lottery tickets together. See, that's the difference. We have pooled our resources and bought lottery tickets together. We've all chipped in. That's not the same thing as one person giving another person a lottery ticket. Let me just check in with Bubba and Cam here. Do either of you feel differently? If Bubba, if you give Cam, if you give Hembo, if you give anybody a lottery ticket and it winds up being worth $1 million, does that person have any obligation to share it with you?
Yeah, I mean, it's a really tough thing, and this is really why giving lottery tickets is a slippery slope. I personally...
It's not a slippery slope. It's a terrible idea. No, it's a terrible
I agree. Yeah,
idea.
really
Jack, I love you. You're a nice kid. It's a terrible gift, but go ahead.
Yeah, you really just shouldn't do it because this stuff happens. But, yeah, I mean, honestly, if it were me and I won, I would give the other person, I would just say probably 5%. I would just give them 5%. So if I won $1 million, I would give them $50,000. Because I just feel like they deserve something for doing it. But I don't think it's a guarantee that you just have to like split it with them or do anything like that. And I think it's certainly fair for the people to not give them anything. I think because it was just a gift. But I understand why if Cam gave me a card and I won $1 million, I would understand why he would be frustrated and disappointed.
I would never do that.
Yeah, but so yeah, if I won, I would give the person 5%. That's what I would.
I think that's a level-headed take. That's what I said to Hembo before. Like, if I won $10,000 on a ticket that he gave me, I would probably give him like maybe $1,000 or $2,000. I don't think I would split it 50-50.
Once again, you can do anything you want. The question is, what are you obligated to do? And in my opinion, a gift is a gift. Once someone has given you a gift, it is no longer theirs. If you give him a lottery ticket, you are accepting the possibility that it might be worth millions of dollars. If you're not willing, that's the reason I would never give you a I told you guys, the only time I ever bought a lottery ticket in my life was because my friend Eduardo and I went to a place to pick up sandwiches for our kids. You know, our sons are best friends. They were playing together. We went out to get lunch for everybody, and we stopped in a place where they sold lottery tickets. He said, I'm going to buy some. I said, dude, you have to let me split this. Whatever you're buying, I'll give you half the money because I will never be able to live with it if you win $1 billion while I'm standing here. and I wasn't in on it. It's the only time I ever bought a lottery ticket outside of our group in my life because I'm not willing to live with the fact that I give him a lottery ticket and he wins $1 billion.
Well, Hembo raised a more concerning point because I gave out the tickets and I said, if you win, just buy me coffee for a week. That's all I ask. And he said, if I won, I wouldn't tell you that I won anything. So all week, people have been coming up to me telling me I haven't won anything. I said, I got bum tickets. Now, Hembo's planted this seed in my head that people are just lying. And
meaning you gave tickets to other people?
Yeah,
What?
we could have 5 to 10 people around the seaport sitting on 10 G's, and I have no idea.
Well, I feel like he already planted the seed. If you told people, just buy me coffee, then that's it. You already told people what you wanted.
You're a terrible negotiator.
You said, if you win, buy me coffee, so that's the obligation. It's done.
I'm not comfortable with this at all. I'm not going to lie. This whole thing is such an incredibly bad idea. Jack, stick around. We got to sell him a little bit as we go. We'll take a short break here. We'll come back with that. Plus, there is someone who is just getting off much too easy besides Hembo, and we'll explain who that someone is and why as we roll on. This is Greeny on ESPN Radio.
Find the top products and quantities you need when you need them. Lowe's knows pros.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and Yelp and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Elevate your game day gear or any outfit with official merchandise from the Milwaukee Bucks Pro Shop. From authentic jerseys to exclusive apparel and accessories, the Bucks Pro Shop has everything you need to showcase your fandom wherever you go. Cheer the deer to victory with authentic Milwaukee Bucks items. Visit us at the Bucks Pro Shop at Fiserv Forum or Bayshore Mall, or shop online at shop.bucks.com.
Smoking hot deals just keep coming with quick hot savings from Quick Trip. And right now we're cooling off with $2.99 a gallon Nature's Touch milk. All 1 gallon, 2%, 1%, and skim Nature's Touch milk, just $2.99. Hey, looking to make that perfect movie night milkshake? Or how about making those morning waffles extra fluffy? Our fresh, straight from our dairy Nature's Touch milk is on sale and ready for your fridge. Quick hot savings from Quick Trip. Yeah, we're here to save you some moolah.
It's time for the Ortho ASAP Minute from Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin.
I'm here with Dr. Chris Killian. Doctor, what makes an OAW surgeon different?
A very unique factor I think that we have at our group is that every single surgeon here is fellowship trained, meaning everyone has gone through specialty training in their specific area of focus. So if you come to get your knee replaced or if you come to see me and get your shoulder done, every single person that you come and see has specific advanced training in that field.
You mentioned that your specialty is shoulders. Shoulder issues can be complicated. How do you approach your patients?
Shoulder injuries are incredibly common with either young athletes or especially as people age, people develop shoulder issues, whether it's rotator cuff issues, arthritis. So we can get a sense of it ahead of time based on what their exam is like, what their MRI is like, what they're doing in therapy. But you're right, there's a wide breadth of surgeries that luckily we have a vast array of treatments for.
The Ortho ASAP Minute is sponsored by Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, hear us out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all? At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
What is dedication?
My biggest fear in the middle of my addiction was that my kids wouldn't have a father. And I started thinking, you know what? This isn't my story. I definitely had to become a better man to be a better father. It's important to me that my kids are empowered and truly believe that if they can think it, they can do it.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Hi everyone, John Miller here from PDS, a Converge company. PDS has been providing technology solutions and transforming IT for area companies for over 30 years. Today, we are helping organizations integrate digital workplace strategies that are giving today's worker the true ability to work from anywhere as they balance work and life both securely and productively. And as HP's largest partner in the area, our combined solutions have never been more important. If you're struggling with this, know we stand ready to help. From ideation to transformation, we can help you evolve your work from anywhere strategy. Learn more at pdsit.net.
Prize Picks, the most fun I've had, winning up to 25x on my money during the football season, and now I get to play during the basketball season as well. You get to select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projected stats, and you just place an entry. Pretty simple. And now you get to pick combo projections across football and basketball from the Specials League, a league created specifically for combo projections that includes 2 or more players from different sports or leagues. So for me, I'm going to go Jordan Love, and then I'll go Giannis and Dalla Dame. If I want to go 3-pointers made, rushing touchdowns, can do it. Prize Picks is that simple to play. Testing my skills on Prize Picks this season is the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app.
Go to prizepicks.com/WI and use code WI for a first deposit match up to $100. That's prizepicks.com/WI, code WI.
I like that song choice there, the hashtag crew. You know what? I think Jack gets to be a member of the hashtag crew, right?
Ooh.
Don't you think? He deserves that.
Do we need to put it up to a vote, or are you just deciding as the
well,
hashtag?
Let's put it up to a vote, and then if it doesn't go the way I like, I'll overrule it. Bubba, do you believe we got hashtag Bubba, hashtag Cam, hashtag Hembo, and hashtag Greeny?
Big moment.
Do you think that is Brandon a member of the hashtag crew? Is he hashtag Brandon Bubba?
Brandon for sure.
Brandon for sure is
I
a
am
yes?
definitely a yes.
Okay. And then how about Jack? Is Jack hashtag Jack?
Jack, I would like to see a few more. I'd like to have him on the show a few more times.
I'm open to that.
I think that's a terrible idea. I think the less Jack we have on, the better
You're trying to make him a hashtag.
Well, then I don't think we can call him a hashtag. If we don't want him on the show, then he can't be a hashtag member.
He's a character here at the Seaport.
He's a recurring character.
He's like Newman.
I just got to see him. I got to experience him a few more times to decide if he's worthy
By the
of the
way,
hashtag.
if we can show
it's
Jack-
like sponge worthy. I got to see if he's hashtag worthy.
On camera one, Greeny, there's an outfielder for the Chicago White Sox named Andrew Benintendi.
Yeah, he looks
that
just like
looks just like Jack.
Yeah, and it's a. Oh, I was going to make a joke, but I don't want to do that at the expense of Mr. Benintendi. Very quickly before we let you go, Jack, if there's one major issue I have with you, it's not only that you are giving. First of all, you're giving everybody lottery tickets as a gift.
Not everybody.
No, but a lot of people.
A select few.
Well, I mean, how
15.
many? 15 is a
15
lot.
people.
Of
a select
people.
few.
How many people do you give holiday gifts to?
Well, there's a decent amount of people here at the Seaport.
You give everyone
Someone
here
definitely
a holiday
won.
gift?
No, not everybody. Specifically, not everybody.
I don't think there are more than 15 people that work here. Who are you not giving gifts to?
Yeah, who are the list that don't
Did
get
you
it?
give a gift to Molly and Stephen A?
I did. Well, I haven't given a gift to Stephen A yet because he hasn't
Yet?
been here yet. He's
What are
been
you
at-
giving Stephen
at
A?
LA.
Yeah.
Well, the same thing that I gave you, a nice handwritten note, and then I'm giving him
You gave me a Tweety Bird like stuffed animal for my dog,
Yeah.
which was a very sweet gift. But you need to understand that you then made me feel terrible that I didn't get anything for you.
Ooh.
So this whole experience, candidly, was worse for me because I didn't win $10,000.
But you've given me an
now I feel
opportunity.
guilty.
You've given me an opportunity.
What opportunity have I given
This
you to print
opportunity.
Hembo stuff?
Make fun of you?
To hopefully become part of the hashtag
To be
crew,
made
which
fun
would be
of?
more than half of Hembo's lottery.
Here's the biggest problem I have with you, Jack. You are a supporter of Hembo's Happy New thing, which he really genuinely thinks this thing is going to catch on. Brandon, you weren't here the other day for this. So I literally, we're starting the show. I said, Happy New Year, Hembo. And he said,
Happy New.
As though that was a thing. And he, with the support of his little intern over here, Jack, has decided this is going to catch on. It's not catching on. It's awful. No one on Mother's Day is going to say, Happy Mother. Like, that's just not what's going to happen here. Like, the new year is critically important to the whole thing.
One of my resolutions for the new year was to be more precise with my speech, to be more efficient. I have conversations with...
It might be more efficient, but it's not more precise.
It is much more
Happy
precise.
New Year
opposite
is
of
much more...
precise.
It is, Happy New could mean anything. It is the opposite of precise.
it's as precise as a razor
No,
blade
it
because
is
I'm
not.
using 2 words when you don't need 3 for it.
That's efficient. It's not precise.
Oh, it is both.
Precision has nothing to do with how many words you use. Precision is not efficiency. You're mixing up 2 things that have nothing to do with each other.
That is not true at all. I'm going to be precise and efficient with my speech, and that checks both boxes.
I'll tell you right
in
now,
this case.
if Jack supports Happy New, he's not getting a hashtag.
That's probably fair. Are you willing to abandon Hembo on Happy New in order to earn your hashtag?
Remember where your bread is buttered.
It's a fair point. I do have to sit with him for 3 hours during Get Up, so I might have to go down with the ship.
He really does. And what happens is every time Hembo gets up and leaves, Jack just follows him. It's as though they're tethered together.
By the way, Bubba, did you happen to see us Gritty today on TV?
Oh, I saw.
That's what that was?
Yeah, we weren't sure. Jack did a pretty good job.
Thank you.
I'm not sure what.
It was a nitty bitty gritty.
Hembo did.
I was actually stunned. For those who didn't see it, that was when Harry Douglas got the answer to the trivia question wrong. I really thought he would get it right.
Me too.
The trivia question was, A.J. Brown has 7 100-yard receiving games this season. What other Eagle has had that money? It's tied for the most in any season in Eagles history. Who would it be tied with? And I figured if you don't know, then Terrell Owens is the most obvious guess. So I assumed he would guess Terrell Owens, and he did not.
He guessed Deshaun Jackson. Jack and I had the Gritty prepared. We had practiced. And I would say that he executed it well. And I would say that I executed it poorly. And watching, I'm much stiffer than Jack somehow, who's super stiff. That's not a movement a person that looks like me should do.
Well, what gave you the impression you were going to Gritty well?
It was his idea, too.
Well, what could I do well? If he gets it wrong, I dance. What do you suggest?
I mean, you could do almost anything. You guys did the choreographed Mahomes, what is her first name?
Brittany Mahomes, Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift.
But we can't duplicate dances.
Well, you can do anything. Like LeBron and his teammates all have those funny handshakes.
Yeah,
you
we did
do
the fish.
Handshake.
We might benefit from a handshake.
Do anything that doesn't involve dancing.
Yeah.
Maybe do the Charleston.
Parenthetically, let me also add that there is no law that says that if he gets it wrong, you have to dance. You just decided once upon a time, if he gets one wrong, I have a dance prepared. And then you decided we're just going to do it every time.
So do you think we should discontinue it?
I think it should never have started in the first place, and I think that I think viewership on our show will triple if they know they're not. There's zero chance they're going to be subjected to you guys dancing.
In all fairness, Harry threw the first punch.
He did. While I was gone, mind you.
In fact, it got to the point where the lighting department was in on it. It turned into a nightclub after he got the questions right. We had to answer back.
But the other side of that, the flip side of that is, have you seen Harry dance?
That's a fair point.
It's exceptional.
Yeah. Fair point.
If Harry Douglas went on Dancing with the Stars, there would be no competition. He would be by far the best dancer that they have.
No, he is light years ahead of where we are.
So, Jack, things continue to progress well for you here as the Dopo, the Director of Printing Operations?
I'm having a great time. It's awesome to be a part of this place.
But your primary job, your primary dream is to be a play-by-play guy?
Yes.
And tell us, everybody, what you do?
So I do play-by-play broadcasting for a couple different companies. I did some games last weekend, doing basketball this weekend.
What games? I meant teams.
Basketball, baseball. I've done some work for Monmouth University.
Monmouth.
But looking for opportunities.
So if you're looking for somebody, reach out. We'll get you in touch with Jack, and maybe he'll become a member of the hashtag crew. Well done, Jack.
Thank you.
Thank you for the gifts.
Thank you.
It is reminiscent of the Seinfeld episode where George gave everyone gift certificates for making he said, a donation has been made on your behalf to the Human Fund. And then when they investigated it, they realized he had just made that up. And all they did was give people these pieces of paper, and they come to him. Bubba, what exactly is the line that he said?
I checked with accounting, and there appears to be there's no human fund.
And what does George say?
Well, there could be.
That's exactly what he says.
And Kruger says, but there isn't.
A donation has been made on your behalf to the Human Fund.
So from this point forward, are we discontinuing the notion of giving lottery gifts for Christmas?
Oh, for sure. Lottery tickets are not a good gift because they inevitably lead to this issue. You should not give me a gift that requires a negotiation in order for me to accept it.
Although I think he should give Stephen A. one.
I did not get him a lottery ticket.
We'll be right back. Someone's getting lit up next.
Take your new year to the next level with live experiences from Vivid Seats. Score tickets for all basketball, hockey, and pro football games. Plus, with a 100% buyer guarantee, Vivid Seats always has your back. See every buzzer beater, touchdown, and shootout live and in person with great deals on great seats. Plus, with Vivid Seats rewards, you can earn with every purchase, like surprise seat upgrades, birthday discounts, free tickets, and more. Just visit vividseats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The stage is set. It's Michigan and Washington battling for the title. This is Boucher Automotive College Football Championship Week. Tune into our coverage all week long and catch the game right here on 94.5 ESPN on January 8th. With 16 new car brands, over 35 pre-owned brands, and 5,000 vehicles in stock, Boucher Automotive is where you'll find your next ride. It's Boucher Automotive College Football Championship Week on 94.5 ESPN.
Protect your dream home with American Family Insurance. And you can weather any storm. You'll also save up to 25% by bundling home, auto, and life. American Family Insurance. Get a quote. Find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Discounts may not apply to all coverages on an auto or home policy. Discounts do not apply to life insurance policies. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, American Family Life Insurance Company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Ready to conquer the Midwest's premier winter playground? Then start planning a visit to Granite Peak. With over 200 acres of skiable terrain, Granite Peak has something for everyone. From beginners to seasoned pros, park skiers to mogul fanatics, and everything in between. Soar to new heights on their state-of-the-art chairlifts and warm up in the cozy historic chalet with roaring fireplaces and stunning views. A legendary winter adventure begins at Granite Peak. Don't miss out. Visit skigranitepeak.com to book your winter vacation now, and for more information, Granite Peak. Legendary winters, legendary fun.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau. This is your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee. Want that mirror finish on your car? You need Z-Gloss by Z-Bart. Z-Gloss is a 3-layer ceramic coating that not only gives your car that mirror finish, it protects it from everything that Mother Nature can throw at it. Visit zbart.com for more information.
For the first time in his career, Packers quarterback Jordan Love has been named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week. Love threw for 256 yards with 3 touchdowns and a passer rating of 125.3 in Green Bay's win at Minnesota in Week 17. He also rushed for a touchdown. Head coach Matt LaFleur believes the sky's the limit for his young QB.
You know, Tom Clements deserves a lot of credit for his ability to groom him and the work that Jordan's put in. I think the sky's the limit for him.
The Packers look to clinch a playoff spot Sunday when they welcome in the Chicago Bears to Lambeau Field. Kickoff is set for 3:25.
This has been your green and gold fix on 94.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Z-Bart of Greater Milwaukee.
Gabe Neitzel here. Catch Jen, Gabe, and Chewy morning 7 to 9 on 94.5 ESPN, WKTI, and WKTI HD, Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
They don't, it's no obligation. You know, they're maybe not expecting it, but just as a courtesy and as a thank you for the gift.
Do you agree with that or disagree with it quickly, Cam?
Yeah, I think it's almost you don't have to share the winnings, but like every time you go out for drinks or dinner or something, like you're paying if you're the one that hit the ticket, especially if the person gave it to you.
Yeah.
30.
If you win like $1 billion, I mean, can you imagine?
Well, I think that's, if you're going to make the person aware that you won, I think you're obliged to give them something. So perhaps you should just not tell, but if you win $1 billion, it'd be hard for them not to find out.
That's a tough secret to keep. Well, why isn't Hembo at work anymore? Why did he buy an island in the Caribbean? We'll continue in 15 seconds.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm
Christine Lisi. Scuffling Lakers still trying to figure out how to get back on track. Fell last night at home to the Heat. Their 8th loss in the last 10 games. They've dropped down to 10th in the Western Conference. The explanation for the slump by Coach Darvin Ham, a little bit of everything. Not executing, getting outworked, not being physical enough. He added that injuries have hampered the group, but that everything is on the table as the team explores how to right the ship. After stepping away from the Cavaliers to address his mental health, guard Ricky Rubio and the team have agreed on a contract buyout, likely marking the end of Rubio's 12-year NBA career, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski. The move gives the Cavs some financial relief and opens up a second spot on their roster. Baseball, Braves and left-hander Chris Sale agreed on a 2-year, $38 million extension, restructuring his deal in the wake of last week's trade from the Red Sox.
From the ESPN studios at Pier 17 in the Seaport District of New York City, this is Greeny with Mike Greenberg on ESPN Radio. You can also listen and watch the show on the ESPN app.
All right, rolling along. Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. Got a little sidetracked there, as we generally tend to do. Hashtag crew is here. Hembo, Bubba, Cam, and company. Something I've been meaning to get to for a couple of days that I will get to here is that I think someone is getting off a little bit easily in the world of sports. And I'm not exactly sure what the appropriate discipline should be. But I think more needs to be said about David Tepper, the owner of the Carolina Panthers, than has been said. This has nothing to do with how well or poorly he has run his organization. Because while to this point he has not done a very good job, he keeps bringing in and out coaches and all that kind of stuff. That's normal. Tons of NFL owners have had stretches far worse than the 5 years or whatever it's been that he's been there, and plenty more of them will. Not owning a team well, whatever that is, not managing the operation of a team as far as wins and losses on the field successfully, that to me is not, I understand if you're a fan of the team, you're frustrated by that, but that's not something that I think is deserving of true criticism. The thing with the drink, throwing the drink on the fans as an NFL owner is something I think is not getting enough attention. Like, that is so beyond the pale. I don't know what exactly it is, but unless a line, and clearly this was not what happened, because if you read the statements, unless some line was so cross, something was said to him or done in some way that was so far and above the pale, that is conduct that is so unbecoming of a person in his position, I don't even have the adjectives to describe it. I'm embarrassed for him, and what makes me more upset is it does not feel to me like he's embarrassed at all. His statement that he released, let me make sure that everyone knows what I'm talking about. Sometimes, like, I think we assume everyone listening to the show knows everything that's happened. David Tepper is the owner of the Carolina Panthers. He's a self-made trillionaire. He's worth $20-something billion. And you don't get to be that unless you're an incredibly smart guy. So he is obviously an incredibly intelligent man. He also comes from great NFL stock, which is to say before he bought the Panthers, he was part of the ownership group of the Pittsburgh Steelers. So he's sort of, if there is such a thing, he's of the Rooney tree. The Rooney family is royalty in the NFL. No one is as beloved and universally respected in that sport as the Rooney family is. So when that guy says, I want to buy a team, if you're the NFL, you got to think this is a dream scenario. Self-made billionaire, super smart, obviously very, aggressive, enthusiastic. You can tell from his personality that he is all of those things. And he's learned from the Steeler way, which is the best way. And so for it to have gone so completely wrong is a disappointment. And again, the day-to-day operations of the team, maybe they drafted the wrong quarterback, maybe he meddled in that, maybe he didn't, I don't know. But all of that stuff is sort of par for the ownership course. But the other day, so the team has, you know what they are, they're terrible. They're the worst team in the sport. And he's sitting there, they're losing to Jacksonville like 30-something to nothing, right? It was a complete whitewash game. A whitewash. And he's sitting in a box that the windows of which are open. So there are fans. He's sitting in a 2-row box. He's sitting in there's a row of seats in front of him. Then there's him, and in front of them, on the other side of an open glass partition, are fans. And I don't know what the fans were saying to him. I have no idea. But in a moment of frustration, and if you see the video, it's like a moment of real anger. It is a disturbing looking, again, not to suggest that it was threatening, but it is a very bad look kind of video. He picks up a drink and flings it. Like, not even the cup. Like, he doesn't throw the cup. He, like, flings the drink the way they would do, like, they'd throw a drink in your face in a movie from the 1940s. And it is a terrible look. And the NFL fined him. Now, look, there is no amount of money that you could fine David Tepper that it's going to make any difference. I saw some people's reaction was, oh, what a slap on the wrist. They only fined him. My computer just went dead here. They only fined him, what was it, $300,000?
That's right. And his net worth is $20-something billion. So people are saying, oh, they should have given him a bigger fine. What are you going to fine him, $1 billion? Like, that's not, it was never on the table that they were going to be able to levy a punishment that was meaningful. The statement from the NFL, I think, went about as far as it possibly could, saying the NFL today fined Panthers chairman David Tepper $300,000 for his unacceptable conduct in Jacksonville. All NFL personnel are expected to conduct themselves at all times in ways that respect our fans and favorably reflect on their team in the NFL. I'm not critical of the NFL for this at all. I don't know what more than that they can do. Stop me if you disagree. Is there something more they could do? This isn't the kind of thing. You're not going to suspend him. You're not going to dock the team draft picks. I don't think it rises to those things. It's not cheating. It's not impacting the integrity of the sport. Do you believe the NFL, before I get back to Tepper, do you believe the NFL should have gone farther? Yes, I do. I agree with you that there is no within reason amount of money that could have impacted him. I actually ran these numbers for myself, and $300,000 to me, in his case, would be the equivalent of me being fined $6. So, like, that's how slap on a wristy it is. But if you're a fan that did the exact same thing in the exact same stadium, they're not fining you. You're just not allowed to ever come back.
They're probably taking your tickets away.
Access is what the NFL should have considered limiting or deleting for David Tepper, at least for the rest of the season.
So a suspension.
Of sorts.
Not necessarily from running the team, but from attending games. Now, candidly, you might argue they'd be doing him a favor not to have to sit there and watch his dreck that his team is putting on the field. But again, this is less about how bad they are, because I would feel exactly the same way if this was the owner in Baltimore or San Francisco, and I'm only using them because they're having the best seasons of any team. I'm not suggesting that either of those owners would ever do this, because I can't believe any owner would do this. I can't believe it. That is such a lack of control. That is such a lack of, like, we talk about Draymond Green having anger management issues. How the hell are you the owner of an NFL team? You have the option of just getting up and walking away at any time you want. You own the building, for crying out loud. You could just get up and walk away. So whatever it is the fans were chanting, yelling, whatever the case may be, to pick up a drink and fling it at them is unimaginably unbecoming. I know I keep repeating that phrase. Please help me find a better one if you can think of one. I can't. And then his statement sucked. His statement was, I am deeply passionate about this team and regret my behavior on Sunday. I should have let NFL Stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. How about, I'm sorry to the people I threw a freaking drink on, because unless they threw something at him, sticks and stones here, guys. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but a drink will soak my clothing. I don't really know what I want to say. I want to say that more should be said of this. I was away on vacation while this was happening, and I wasn't here on Monday. And obviously, Monday was the prelude to the national champ. Oh, not. I keep calling it that. To the two semifinal games that night, and there was all the other NFL games that actually mattered much more than theirs did. I just feel like not enough attention has been paid to this. An NFL owner threw a drink on the fans. If a player did that, the player would be facing disciplinary action, right?
For sure.
Put yourself in a position where and by the way, the fans go off on the players all the time. And I don't like it when the players turn around and yell back at them. But that horse is out of the barn. All right? If you want to yell back at them, I guess that's just what it is. Mike once told me a story. Mike Golick, years and years ago, and Mike said there was a story because I was asking him what it's like when the fans are booing you and all that, and he told a great story on the air about how I think that. I want to make sure I'm getting the details of this right. When he was on the Eagles, their punt returner had a bad day, had 2 fumbles. Something terrible happened involving the punt returner. And there were a bunch of fans who were sitting really close by who were really obliterating him, yelling the nastiest, meanest things in the world. And something that they yelled, flipped a switch. And Mike started walking towards them. And that a security guard, saw it and jumped in front of him and just said, Mike, it's not worth it. Turn around. And he realized it and he walked away. There's something that's just not worth it. It's literally not worth it. And so if a player, if you're, who's a player is getting booed a lot, I don't know, whoever it is, Zach Wilson is getting booed like crazy by the fans. Imagine what would happen if Zach Wilson took a drink, walked over to the sideline, and threw his drink at the fans sitting in the front row. Would that lead every sports show? Would there be calls for him to be suspended? Would he be able to say, I'm deeply passionate about our team and I regret my behavior. I should have let NFL stadium security handle any issues that arose. I respect the NFL's code of conduct and accept the league's discipline for my behavior. That would have been a very big deal if a player had done it, if a coach had done it. So when the owner does it, it should be a bigger deal. Now, again, I'm not suggesting a $300,000 fine is nothing, even though to him it is nothing, because there are limitations to everything. You just can't go around. If you're going to try and create a fine that is meaningful to him, you literally are going to have to fine him $500 million, and that no one in their right mind is suggesting that's reasonable. This is one of those rants that, unfortunately, I don't really have a finish for because I don't have a suggestion of what I think should be done. All I wanted was to make the point that I think not enough has been said about this. This was not a little thing. This was a big thing. Because if it became a thing, it would be everything. If all of a sudden that starts happening left and right, now Woody Johnson's throwing drinks on people and you know what I mean? You're laughing because it's unfathomable.
It's unfathomable.
But it happened. This guy did it. And I feel like it just kind of went away. We got a fine, we got a suspension, they're a bad team anyway, no one really cares, let's just move on with our day. No. I'm not suggesting they should take his team away. I'm not suggesting they should dock him draft picks. I'm not one who sits here thinking excommunicate people from society, the equivalent of canceling people. But the punishment for doing things like this should be some shame. You should be made to feel bad. You should recognize his statement does not in any way suggest, even though he uses the word regret, he uses the word, I regret, where's it?
And regret my behavior.
I regret my behavior. That's about as bloodless a way as you can say that as I could ever imagine. So that's really the only point. I want to hear you guys, Hembo and Bubba and Cam, on this. I just felt like that needed to be said a little bit more before it just goes away.
The statement is awful. First of all, the level of passion that you have for your team, immaterial, right? That's obvious. What he effectively has done here, you see this happen at a bar on occasion, and this is the equivalent of apologizing to the bar, but not any of the people that.
That's right.
I wish that the bartender had kicked out these people that were bothering me.
Right.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
A full-grown man, especially a full-grown man with this kind of power, and it really punctuates one of the worst seasons in NFL history. I mean, this team is trying to win, and they have 2 of them. They don't have their own pick, which happens to be the first pick. He's obviously frustrated, but it's the discernment here that is actually a major concern. This is a rotten apple in the barrel. And if I were Roger Goodell, this would be a major concern of mine moving forward because you only have 32 of these, and one of them right now is a rotten apple.
Talk to me, Bubba and Cam. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's pathetic, it's childish, all those things. And I think it's a quick moment of just flushed anger, but deep down it's someone who knows he's Teflon and cannot be touched for something like this. Even if it is a moment where he's not thinking, even in the aftermath, he's probably wow, that was pretty stupid, but what are they going to do? Fine me $300,000? He knows that they can't do anything to him because he's an owner.
So Bubba, give me a final word.
Yeah, I mean, I think when you bring up the player, Zach Wilson, I think that's the best point, because I think if it happened to him, I don't think he would only get a $300,000 fine. He would most likely be suspended.
Oh, for sure.
So how
I think we probably could find some sort of precedent, not of throwing a drink, but any contact of any kind between a player and a fan in any sport generally, I think, results in far more significant discipline. Sorry, Bubba.
Yeah, so I'm just saying, so you would think we should be holding the owners to a much higher standard than a player. So that's, to me, with the biggest frustration out of this. I agree with the statement being ridiculous, but to me, that's the thing. A player would be a much harsher punishment. So, whether or not he should have been fined more, I'm not going to get caught up in what his net worth is and all that stuff is, but he should be held to a much higher standard as an owner, and some sort of a suspension or something, because that's sort of what happened to a player.
Yeah, absolutely right. All right, I just wanted to throw those things out there. In the meantime, time for everybody's favorite. It's Hembo's Trivia.
We got group trivia today. This is on the heels of your NFC quarterback confidence index from Get Up this morning. So what I am looking at is a leaderboard of most playoff wins all time by NFC quarterbacks playing on NFC teams. You're going to give me your 5 names, and we'll see how many of those 5 names match my list.
Okay, so the top 5 NFC, does this include Super Bowls?
It does.
All right, so and does it predate the Super Bowl?
It's just since the merger.
It's just since the merger.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just since the merger. So it's NFC, not NFL.
The winningest NFC quarterbacks in playoff history.
And that includes Super Bowl games.
It does.
Okay, fair enough. The answer is next on ESPN Radio.
TaxAct knows you don't look forward to taxes. TaxAct doesn't even look forward to taxes, and TaxAct is a tax software company. It's basically TaxAct's whole thing. If TaxAct did things over, maybe TaxAct would end up teaching kindergarten or leading fly fishing tours. But that's a different story for a different ad. So why don't we just agree that taxes aren't fun, but you still have to do them? TaxAct's filing software can help you do that. TaxAct. Let's get them over with.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
2 seconds left on the clock, third field goal range, and it looks like he's going to go with a 5-iron. No, wait. The quarterback is skating back on the ice. He's talking with his caddy. They're pulling the goalie. He skates off the fairway as the kicker lines up his putt. It's a breakaway. They bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Touchdown savings, birdie goal.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
The Golden Eagles stay flying high.
Off Joplin, over 3. Holla at your boy. One more time. Holla at your boy. And another. Holla at your boy. Huge.
On Saturday, number 7 Marquette visits Seton Hall for more Big East action. Our coverage begins with Gabe Neitzel and the Marquette Sports Network pregame show at 10:30. Homer and Marquette Hall of Famer Tony Smith have tip-off from Jersey at 11 a.m. on Saturday. 94.5 ESPN, the official home for Marquette basketball.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Adulting in the fall means responsible spiking. For pumpkin spice or whatever your preferred fall drink concoction is, spike it with RumChata. It's a solution for any occasion. RumChata is the world's finest liqueur featuring premium Caribbean rum combined with vanilla, cinnamon, and the highest quality dairy cream sourced from Wisconsin. Enjoy a smooth shot or a tantalizing spiked beverage with RumChata Original. And, backed by popular demand for a limited time, RumChata Peppermint Bark. RumChata, the superior way to spike and sip responsibly this fall.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower wild bird food for just $13.99. Plus, join us Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m. to build and decorate a free birdhouse with your kids. Create family memories and find what you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
What's better than free? How about play free all year? This January at Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee, you can win over $2,000 in reward play every month all year long. Just play your favorite games to earn prize drawing entries. Then stop by each Thursday night in January to see if you're a winner. $400,000 in prizes is up for grabs. Over 40 winners each week. Yeah, free is for me. More info at paysbig.com. Must be 21 years old and a club member to play.
Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
Gary, we have so much going on. We're still the place to be on game days to catch the green and gold. Book a holiday party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Plus, we got great live music every Saturday night. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
All right, this is a genuinely great question. Greeny, presented by Progressive Insurance.
Wow, okay, and how are your trivia skills?
This is Sneaky Hembo Trivia.
Regular sneaky or extra sneaky?
Hembo, today's question.
There are 5 quarterbacks in the history of the NFC that have won at least 10 playoff games. You're going to give me 5 names, and we're going to see how many of the top 5 you get right.
Okay, so it's group trivia, and we know that they have to have won at least 10. So as we went through this, guys, we thought of Eli Manning because of those 2 runs, but we know for sure Eli Manning only won 8.
Right.
So if he's not on the list, okay, we're going to have to guess 5. We have 2 of them that I think are stone cold lead pipe locks, right, guys? So you want me to do the talking here and then we'll talk through it?
Yeah.
All right. If one of them isn't Joe Montana, I give up.
That's correct.
Okay.
He's first with 14.
Okay.
Nice.
We all feel good about Favre, right? I mean, he played forever. He won playoff games in Minnesota, too. It has to be Favre.
That's correct.
Okay.
He's second with 13.
All right, here we go.
So we have 2 Cowboys quarterbacks on our list, and I think I feel good about them both. Staubach made it to 4 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. They didn't play as many playoff games in those days as they do now, but he made the playoffs a lot more years than that. Guys, I think it's Staubach, but Bubba, do you feel good about that? As a Cowboys fan, would he have won 11 playoff games?
I'm more confident in Aikman.
I know.
Than Staubach,
I think let's get Aikman on the board
Aikman
first.
went to 3 Super Bowls.
And won them all.
Won other playoff games. Right, and won them all. That's right. So that right there, that's like 9.
Yeah. So I think let's get Aikman on the board first.
Troy Aikman is correct.
Okay.
He is in a 3-way tie with 2 others with 11.
Okay. So right now, I only have one more name written down because we crossed off, just so that the people listening, we crossed off Aaron Rodgers, we crossed off Drew Brees. We are kind of going back and forth on Fran Tarkenton. I kind of feel good about Staubach, but I feel like you guys are questioning it. He won 2 Super Bowls, so that's 6 right there.
Yeah.
He made it to 2 others. That's 2 more wins to get to those. That's 10 right there.
For sure.
It has to be Staubach.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
He won 11 as well.
So we need one more.
One more.
Oh,
So
4 for 4.
Right. So here's who I have written down.
Okay.
I think Rodgers probably not, but
I
still
agree.
on the table.
Right.
Breeze, Steve Young, I think no. Russ, I think no. And then Tarkenton maybe, but he was in the NFL for a while, not the NFC.
That's right.
And then I don't think it's McNabb, but he did go to a lot of playoff games, so that was the other one I had written down.
So McNabb made 5 NFC championship games, but only won one of them.
Yes.
Right? So we're talking about winning just one playoff game a year all those years, except for the time they went to the Super Bowl. So if I'm doing the math correctly, that would put him at 7.
But they were in the wild card a couple of those years,
so it
too.
could be one or
could have
two.
been 2 a couple of those years. So that is a lot, but I think it's...
but what do you think? Should we go McNabb?
I don't know if that gets to 11 either way, though.
Who's the leader in the clubhouse right now for you guys?
I think you're kind of talking me into McNabb.
What about Rodgers? Rodgers has also been to like 5.
Rodgers...
or 6. I think he's been to 5 or 6. And he won a
Championship
Super Bowl.
games?
I would think Rodgers ahead of McNabb.
And actually, they were a wild card the year that they won the Super Bowl. So he would have won
I don't
4
think it's
right there.
McNabb.
I think it's Rodgers.
Okay, we are going with Aaron Rodgers.
The correct answer is Aaron Rodgers.
We are so good at this.
What a day, what a day. Woo! Fantastic. Oh, my goodness, that is so good. Look how upset Hembo is. That makes me so happy.
I am despondent.
Yes. Your displeasure is bringing us great joy.
Happy New, Hembo.
Happy New.
Happy New to one and all. Give us the list.
So, by the way, Russell Wilson 9, Kurt Warner 9, Donovan McNabb 9, and Drew Brees 9. So you guys
And Eli 8. We crushed it.
Peppered the leaderboard. Yeah,
We
Eli
didn't even
is
come up with
Eli
Warner.
and Steve Young.
Warner's the only
both
one
had
we
8.
didn't even do.
Eli 8, Steve Young 8, and is Tarkenton, where would he have been?
Only 6.
Only 6.
Ooh,
Okay.
all right.
We did well. Boys, I'm
Nice.
proud of us. All right. Greeny with you, presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE. Okay, where is my favorite tweet of the day? I want to play that one, and I haven't been here in a while, so I can't
I don't think
find
it's
the
up there.
sounder. It may not be up there. Well, let me
We can
just
add it.
Like without playing the sounder, let me just read you my favorite tweet of the day.
When you tweet all that stuff out, guess what? Da-da-da, we got it.
My favorite tweet of the day.
Smoothly handled by us. My favorite tweet of the day comes from our friend, Mr. Herb Street. Herbie tweeted this, and I feel like it's an idea that is gaining at least some momentum. I hear other people talking about it. I guess I can't say with certainty that Herbie is the first person who said it, but he's the first person whom I heard say it. He tweeted, "I've been saying this for years. I'll say it one more time. As the world of college football changes in so many ways, I really wish the leaders and decision makers would just make the Rose Bowl game the host for the national championship every year. The setting, beauty, field, and history of that place is unparalleled. Last night was another chapter in its long and incredible history of memorable moments." So he tweeted that, obviously, the other day after they played that unforgettable game between Michigan and Alabama. The Rose Bowl is the granddaddy of them all. At a time when everything else in the sport has changed, it has somehow maintained its grandeur. This year, of course, because of the matchup, it felt bigger than the others, but it manages to remain big even in years when it isn't, for lack of a better word, in the rotation, which is to say, if you're a person who doesn't care as much about college football, you're going to watch the 2 bowl games that are the semifinals. And then if the Rose Bowl isn't one of them, I feel like you still watch that one too. There's just something bigger about the Rose Bowl. And so now as they do go to what is going to be a playoff atmosphere, it is going to be a true playoff environment. We're going to have the equivalent of the NFL playoffs in college football starting next year. Do we like the idea of A, always having the championship in one place, and then B, that one place being the Rose Bowl? What do you think of the idea, Hembo?
I love the idea. This is not like a soapbox thing, but I do feel like with the commercialization of sports in general, this is sort of a notion that has gotten a little bit lost. There is something magical about seeing sports be played in these types of places like Augusta National, and at places like Churchill Downs, and where they play Wimbledon every year. Like, I think there are a select few of those, a handful of those, maybe as many as 10 or 12 of those, that we should hold near and dear. There is no obvious reason why the Rose Bowl should host any game that's not of the utmost importance. I watched every second of that game. It was as compelling a television show as I have ever seen. Everything about it was nearly perfect.
Right, but let me stop you there. if that game had been played in the Superdome, or if it had been played in Jerry World, or if it had been played in whatever the stadium in Atlanta is called, I forget now. It's not the Georgia Dome anymore. Whatever, one of the other places they could have played it, would you have been less compelled by the game?
Absolutely.
Really?
I think the notion of these games being played in these dingy stadiums in New Orleans or Texas or San Antonio or Atlanta is stupid and silly. Like, this is a TV show, a product. That visually is absolutely beautiful. Like watching a World Series game at Wrigley or in Fenway Park or seeing snowfall in Lambeau Field and seeing Brett Favre's breath. Like, why not lean into that? Take advantage of that. Sports should be beautiful. And that's the one thing that college football has to offer. That place, we should maximize it for every chance we get.
That's an interesting idea. So there are golf courses like that there is no golf course more telegenic than Augusta National, and there is no golf course that is second most telegenic than Pebble Beach. Those are the most telegenic golf courses in the world. As far as sports that it matters where they're being played, baseball, I mean, there is a perceptible difference in a baseball game that is played at Wrigley Field or at Fenway Park than there is from one that is played in Tampa, whatever that stadium is called, or whatever the other, like most of the other baseball stadiums.
Absolutely.
Right? There is a difference.
There is.
Football, let's use the NFL. Lambeau Field does still have a specialness to it. For me, I think Soldier Field will always have a specialness to it, but they managed to put like a flying saucer in the middle of it, so it doesn't look like it used to look anymore. But the setting being right on Lake Michigan still matters. A few football stadiums still matter. I will tell you this, and I wrote this in my first book. The Rose Bowl is the most exceptional place to see a football game live that I've ever been. The first Super Bowl I ever covered, which I think still has to be one of my top 5 experiences in my broadcasting career. I was not an important person at that at all. I was covering it for my radio station in Chicago. I was 20. This was January of '93, so I was 25 years old. And they sent me to the Rose Bowl. I mean, they sent me to Pasadena because that's where the game was being played. It was the Dallas-Buffalo 52-17 game. But I had never been in the Rose Bowl before. Like everyone else, I had seen the Rose Bowl before, but I'd never been in the stadium. Let me tell you, when you were sitting in that stadium and you were staring at the mountains in the distance and the sun starts to set and the military flyover goes by, which they have for the Super Bowl, I wrote this in my book. I started to cry. Like, I literally had tears in my eyes because I thought, my God, all of my life, this has been my dream. That's as close as I was ever going to get to playing in the Super Bowl. I never had a chance to play in the Super Bowl. My wildest imagination was maybe someday I'd get to actually work at the Super Bowl, and that is a memory I will take with me forever. So I like the idea of it being, now that we're going to have playoffs, and someone sent me the rotation of it, is the first round are going to be played
on campus. On
campuses, right? And then does it go to a rotation? Someone sent me this the other day, but I don't have it in front of me. I can get it because I remember who sent it to me. It was Fink. So I can find that.
Just give him a quick call.
I can find that. Yes, he's a caller. But Fink did send me that the other day. So let me see if I can find it.
It'll be like a Super Bowl-like rotation from what I understand.
Yeah. But I'm just trying to see if they've already named the stadium.
It's basically the same way it is now, where it's like the Peach Bowl, all the Rose Bowl. They're all just, all the New Year's Six Bowls are rotating through.
But my point is, there will be enough playoff games for all of them to get one every year, right? Or no?
Yeah.
Like there will no longer be one of those bowls that isn't a playoff game, that isn't being played for the championship. Am I getting that right?
Yes, I believe so. I think that you have that right.
I'm going to try and find this because he literally sent me the text.
What it felt like to me in watching the game, obviously it helped that there were these two legendary programs and coaches, but like it was like watching the sport be played, not to be sappy, but like in its natural habitat.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I walked into Wrigley Field for the first time, and I felt that way about a meaningless game in July.
Yeah.
I've never been to the Kentucky Derby, but I would imagine
it's great.
That's what it feels like.
I have it right here. This is next year's schedule. So next year, they will be on Friday, December 20th, 1 game. On Saturday, December 21st, 3 games. And those will all be on campus. The following week, then we get to Tuesday, they will play a game in the Fiesta Bowl. Wednesday, they will play the Peach Bowl and the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Those are December 31st. Then Thursday, January 9th, the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl will be the semifinals. And Monday, January 20th, in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, will be the championship game. So that's the plan. So all these games, Fiesta, Rose, Sugar, Orange, Cotton Bowl, and the I guess that's the Peach Bowl, will all get a game. Yeah, there's the Peach Bowl, and they will be playoff games.
January 20th, though, too. Think about that.
Well, that's what you're looking at.
That's crazy.
It's professional football.
It is now professional football. Like, the argument has always been made that we can't have these kids play all these games, but now we can, because there's enough money involved. We can't play during, when they would otherwise be taking finals, but now we can, because there's enough money involved. When there's enough money involved, we can always do whatever we want them to do. The question is, Bubba, should the championship game always be in the Rose Bowl?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think from a viewer perspective, it's obviously unbelievable. And I was going to say even that they should have the Super Bowl back there. Like you mentioned, the Super Bowl was there. But then I was looking at Herb Street's tweet there, and there are so many people, and even Stephen A. yesterday or 2 days ago on First Take was mentioning just how bad it is from a actual people in the stadium perspective. I don't know, I've never been, but people were just saying the facilities are so outdated, traffic is horrendous, concessions are terrible, the bathrooms are terrible. So I don't know how much that factors in. Obviously, from a viewer perspective, if you're watching on TV, it's unbelievable. But it just sounds like what I'm reading is just the stadium is just so old and outdated that it doesn't seem like it's feasible to keep having these games there. Like that, I don't think it's even realistic to have it, the national championship game there every year, as much as we would love to have it. I almost wouldn't shock me if they don't keep having the Rose Bowl there for forever, the way it sounds like the stadium is.
That would be a real shame. Like, there were some stadiums. Hembo and I have another book coming out next year, or this year now, and we have plenty of time. It's not coming out until September, so we have plenty of time to talk about it long before it comes out. One of the things we do is we rank the top 10 venues in all of sports. Another thing that I do is I list the places that I miss. And I think that there are some stadiums that are gone now that I really miss. And the difference between the perception of someone who's just a fan watching on TV versus the people who are directly involved is thoroughly different. One of the places I miss is Three Rivers Stadium. Three Rivers Stadium in Pittsburgh. That was always the sign, Three Rivers Stadium. It's not supposed to be called Heinz Field. It's Three Rivers Stadium. It was multi-purpose. The Pirates played there. The Steelers played there. Ask any football player, they will tell you the greatest day of their lives was when Three Rivers Stadium closed. Except even better than that was when the Vet closed, because the field, the surface, whatever, the turf, at the Vet, it caused more knee damage than any other place you've ever been. But as a fan, it was wonderful to watch those games being played in those places. These days, they build all these new multi-purpose stadiums or these new, super functional, in and out kind of stadiums. They're lifeless, bloodless, soulless, awful. Camden Yards is one of the, they build a few of them in baseball that are wonderful, that still make you feel like that. But for every Camden Yards, there are a bunch of them that are just completely cookie cutter, that you have no idea where you're sitting. There's no difference between it and anywhere else. Now that they're all named after companies anyway, you don't know where they are. Like, if I just listed for you the names of the 30 arenas in the NBA, how many of them could you tell me what city that's in?
2/3 maybe?
Oh, I bet you it's way less. I don't think you could name what city 2/3 of the ones.
I say Smoothie King Arena. You say.
Well, I happen to know that one because it's so hilarious.
Right.
That's New Orleans.
Guaranteed rate field.
Well, that's not basketball.
No, it's not basketball.
But I understand what you're saying. No, but that is the point. Like, it used to be, like, where are we playing? Where are we playing? Candlestick Park. Candlestick Park. Now it's Levi's Stadium.
Not in San Francisco.
And it's not even close to San Francisco. It's much closer to San Jose than it is to San Francisco.
Footprint Center. Where's that?
Which one is it?
Footprint Center.
Oh my gosh.
Say it one more time.
Footprint Center.
Footprint is the word he's saying?
Foot.
Oh, footprint?
That's the name of an NBA arena?
Oh, it sure is. Footprint Center.
And that's a brand? It's a company?
I genuinely have no idea. Where is it?
Phoenix Suns.
They play in the Footprint Center?
What about the Frostbank Center?
It's not Miami.
No,
we got to do all 30 of these tomorrow.
That's what I said. I don't think you're going to get 2/3
I think that you're right.
easily. I don't think you are. All right, we'll have a little bit more fun with that, and then we will explain why something is going to happen this weekend. We talked about the owner in Carolina earlier. Something else is going to happen this weekend that is not getting nearly enough attention, and we'll dive into what it is coming up. But right now, this is Greeny presented by Progressive Insurance. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save nearly $750 on average. Call or click today. Find out if they could save you hundreds on your car insurance. Again, next, something you should be thinking a lot more about on ESPN Radio.
Find the top products and quantities you need when you need them. Lowe's knows pros.
If you're just tuning in, this is Fan 23, Fansville's #1 sports radio station.
Brought to you by Tasty Dr. Pepper.
We are settling the great debate, best third quarter snack, hot dogs or nachos?
You know my mantra, Doug.
Yes.
Meaty early, cheesy late.
Well, it looks like we have a caller here to weigh in. Is this Chuck?
Popcorn in the third is the move.
What?
You go with passive snacking after halftime.
No, it's nachos.
Look, as long as there's an ice cold Dr. Pepper there to wash it down, I'm good with either. Dr. Pepper, the one fans deserve.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, we have legal professionals standing by to answer your questions. They'll tell you if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750. So if you've been injured in an accident and think you deserve compensation, call now. Find out if you have a case and how much it's potentially worth. Call 800-378-4750 to speak with a live person now. Advertisement sponsored by Legal Help Center. May not be available in all states.
Tito's handmade vodka is so good and smooth, you can mix it with anything. Now, here's out. If your usual brunch cocktail sounds like a Tito's Bloody Mary stacked with garnishes is more like Tito's. Sounds pretty good. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
With tens of thousands of satisfied patients across America, it's no surprise QC Kinetics gets 5-star reviews.
I'm feeling on top of the world because of QC Kinetics.
I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
I can recommend them highly. I would recommend QC to anybody.
QC Kinetics has changed my life.
I couldn't believe it. I honestly was skeptical, but the pain went from a 10 to a 0.
Real people with real lasting relief from joint pain.
QC Kinetics Regenerative Medicine is regenerating me.
I'm super successful, and I recommend everyone seek out QC Kinetics as an alternative to surgery.
This non-surgical approach is definitely the future.
I tell as many people as possible. I am an ambassador. I love QC Kinetics.
QC Kinetics, the nation's leader in advanced regenerative medicine. No drugs, no surgery. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Get your game on at the Island Resort and Casino with first-round picks of your favorite slots and table games. Watch your team compete on big screens in Team McSee's Sports Bar or the Sports Illustrated Sportsbook Room. Yes, you can bet the spread, parlays, futures, and more with Sports Illustrated Sportsbook at Island Resort and Casino. Your place to bet on sports. To book a game-time getaway at the Island, call 800-682-6040 today.
Homer here. There's a good chance you're on a budget. We all are. She wants a diamond. You know it, I know it, and Robert Hack Diamonds knows it too, because they offer a huge selection of lab-grown diamonds, and they sell them at crazy prices. How about 2-carat total weight diamond studs for $9.99? Robert Hack Diamonds can get any size, shape, or clarity in natural or lab-grown diamonds. Don't buy until you call Robert Hack Diamonds. $9.99 for a 2-carat pair of diamond studs. Oh, baby! Robert Hack Diamonds in Greenfield and Brookfield. Why overspend when you could save at Robert Hack Diamonds for the same diamond you're looking for? Better for less. Some jewelers are charging nearly $5,000 for a lab-grown diamond. Not Robert Hack. Your visit will be worth it. Robert Hack also offers repair services and cash for your old gold. They got some of mine. Remember, before you do anything, call Robert Hack Diamonds. Visit RobertHackDiamonds.com for information, RobertHackDiamonds.com, and visit them in Brookfield or in Greenfield.
Do you check your savings account and wonder if you're even saving at all?
At Town Bank, we view banking differently and actually want to see your savings grow. With our amazing new CD rates, you can now earn even more, so you can sit back and relax. Stop banking the same way, expecting different results, and start earning more. Go to townbank.us/locknewrates or visit a Town Bank branch nearest you today. Bank differently with Town Bank. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Gary Olson here for Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center. Looking for that midday escape? Or maybe you want to impress a client? No matter the season, rain, snow, or shine, Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center is open for you. A top-tech, cutting-edge golf experience that gives you the chance to play legendary courses. Wisconsin Indoor Golf Center simulators, entertainment, and best Bloody Marys make it feel like summer all year round. Just $35 an hour gets you a round and puts that summer feel back in your life. Book your bay at WisconsinIndoorGolfCenter.com.
Fleet Farm has everything you need for happy backyard birds. And we mean everything. Like over 100 different types of wild bird foods and bird feeders. This week, get a 25-pound bag of black oil sunflower wild bird food for just $13.99. Plus, join us Saturday, January 13th at 9 a.m. to build and decorate a free birdhouse with your kids. Create family memories and find what you need for everyday life at Fleet Farm.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Greeny with you on ESPN Radio. Hashtag Crew Big Day. Huge weekend. Football Friday tomorrow. We'll be here to get you ready. Every team's final exam this weekend. Which one of the ones that need to will bring home an A? And then, of course, the monster game on Monday night. Michigan-Washington. College football's national championship game, and you will hear all the action right here on ESPN Radio. At ESPN, we got you covered every conceivable way, on the TV, on the radio, on the digital, all the supercasts, megacasts, whatever it is you're looking for, we've got you covered. So don't miss all the action on Monday night, Michigan, Washington. And again, if you're out and about that night, you will not have to miss a second of it. You can listen to all the coverage right here on ESPN Radio. Okay, I want you guys to hear Mike Reese, who covers the Patriots for us at ESPN and has forever. And he's a terrific reporter. Excellent. He's measured. He's got great insight. He has the respect of all of the players and the entire organization there in New England. I've had great opportunities, particularly Rob Ninkovich has told me a million times, like Reese is a reporter they all really respected. And so we have him on this morning to talk about Belichick. And I'm going to make this point, and I think it should be made loudly. I understand that there are a lot of games this weekend that matter a lot in the NFL, and Jets-Patriots is not one of them. I understand that Monday night we have college football's national championship and everything else going on. But the idea that Bill Belichick may very well be coaching his final game in New England, we should not pay little attention to that.